Hello, everybody, and welcome in here to playoff football. It is going to be the Eudora Cardinals taking on the Lansing Lions here in Lansing, Kansas, as we will get going here on our Kaw Valley State Bank pregame show. They're not just your bank, they're your neighbors. Kaw Valley State Bank is proud to serve the Eudora community and proud to support Cardinal athletics. For more information, visit their website at kawvalleystatebank.com. We're going to get into the national anthem here. They'll be performed by the Lions Marching Band. Get a picture of the flag.
Yep.
Well, we couldn't find an American flag here in the stadium, so we just got a shot of the Lions band there. So we will get going on the pregame show. It's an interesting matchup. It's not the first time that these schools have met, but it's the first time in a long time, and I mean a long time. The last time they played was the 80s, and what's interesting about that, they played 2 years in a row because they were in the same division for those 2 years. They were both in the Kaw Valley division at the time. The Cardinals, after 1984, went independent for about 15 years before joining the Frontier League. There was a realignment, but they've actually played 6 times before. They played 4 years in a row back in the 70s, and the Cardinals lead the series 4-2. But I mean, that is almost as irrelevant of history as it gets. That was 40 years ago was the last time they played. But the first time that they played was 54 years ago, and they will meet again here in the playoffs. First time that it is a postseason matchup ever between these two schools. The postseason for college or for high school football in Kansas had only been created a year before the first time that they matched up. Before then, the titles were decided by a voting poll. But that is no longer the case. As now every team makes the postseason and they get to play off against each other. The Cardinals are the 9th-ranked team here at the 4A class. Lansing is the 8th-ranked. Both teams had a 4-4 season, though there's some different feels for both sides. The Cardinals went loss-win, 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 so they never really got any momentum going. The Lions started off 3-1 and then ended 4-4. They've lost 3 of their last 4, so momentum has not been on their side. And normally you think of the teams that are the ones that get hot going into the postseason, you'd say that is definitely not the Lions. And also, hot is no one here because it is about 50 degrees and it's going to stay that way or get colder as this time goes on. It will be a cold one tonight, and that always affects play. It tends to play towards a running team, which that is the Cardinals' way of playing, and that is not really the Lansing Lions' way of playing. They do have some good running. In fact, their star running back is a sophomore with more than 800 yards. Same thing to describe the Cardinals.
Similar.
Yes,
yep.
But they have 12 rushing touchdowns on the season, 22 passing touchdowns. So they are a very good red zone offense that knows how to pass the ball well in the red zone. And they're also a really good red zone defense. The Lions made an appearance on Varsity Sports Live earlier this season when they took on the Tonganoxie Chieftains, and the Lions had 2 red zone turnovers. They turned over the Chieftains, one of them being a pick 6, and the other one taking the ball away, forcing a fumble right on the goal line. So they had 2 red zone defensive takeaways. So they are a very capable team, both on offense in the red zone and defensively in the red zone. When the field gets shorter, that is where they like to be. Your Cardinals here taking the field in those pristine white uniforms, led out by Braden Van Dong, returning after a 2-game absence, along with Christian Jarrett, Connor Watson, a few other seniors leading out the team. Speaking of players returning, Leland Bradshaw will also be back tonight. It's been quite a while since we have seen the big boy, number 72, get to play for the Cards. He will no doubt have an impact. George Hagan, though, who had returned for the Cardinals, is out today. There was also an injury update on Errol Seaman, we heard that if the Cardinals advance to next week, he would be able to return. He actually had some action in practice this week for the Cardinals. So if there is to be another game for the Cards, number 8 would be able to dress and play for them. Looking at the scouting report for the Lions, their quarterback, Oakley, does not run the ball much, but he has more than 1,500 passing yards on the season. I mentioned their sophomore running back, Pollard, more than 800 yards. They like to go for 2. They go for 2 a lot, but they also will occasionally kick a PAT. They're 17 of 19 on PATs and 9 of 18 on the 2-point conversion. I really couldn't find much of a rhyme or reason to when they decided to kick the PAT or to go for 2, but they are perfectly at 50% when they go for 2 on the season, which is normally what the stats tell you will be.
That's a pretty solid rate.
And then 17 of 19 on those PATs. Cardinals likewise have only missed 2 PATs all year, though one was just last week in that huge game against Paolo, in a ridiculous game. The Lions are 2-2 at home. The Cardinals are 3-1 on the road, as they have traveled here about just over 40 minutes away from Eudora to take on the Lions here in Lansing, Kansas. So we've about 6 minutes away from kickoff. We will go to a break here from the pregame show. Kickoff is approaching.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
Just like the Cardinals are striving for success, Kaw Valley State Bank's mission is your success. At Kaw Valley State Bank, they provide the best, most efficient, courteous, and professional banking services possible. And at Kaw Valley, they recognize that the customer and their satisfaction is the most important ingredient to growing their community. With all the services you've come to expect from the hometown partner you deserve, Kaw Valley State Bank, online at kvsb.com, a proud supporter of Eudora Schools.
High-quality foods, friendly service, great prices, and a connection to the community that is unsurpassed. That's Jean's Heartland Foods in Eudora. Family-owned, Jean's Heartland Foods offers a convenient one-stop shop, delivering the everyday essentials you need to specialty items from around the world. Jean's friendly staff is here to help you find exactly what you're looking for. You have options when it comes to feeding your family. Choose to support local. Choose Jean's Heartland Foods, 1402 Church Street in Eudora, or online at heartlandfoodstores.com. Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Cards!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com. The MVPs of BBQ. That's Barbed Wire Barbecue in Eudora. Family owned and operated, Barbed Wire Barbecue delivers great food and small town hospitality at a valued price. High quality hickory smoked meats, house seasonings, and time tested recipes put Barbed Wire Barbecue a cut above the rest. Kick off your weekend with their delicious brunch on Saturdays and Sundays and enjoy game day your way with Barbed Wire Game Day Packs. Visit them at 601 East 10th in Eudora or see their full lineup of flavors at barbedwirebarbecue.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Rowe, here today to encourage you to connect with 811 before you dig.
And I'm Mike Rowe, and I'm here because I love to dig in the dirt.
It's true. He's also here because he's very small and not that bright. Here, for instance, we can see Micro doing what he loves to do. And here we can see the consequences of not doing what he should have done. Dude, why didn't you call 811?
I forgot the number.
See? Not that bright.
How do you see the world?
Ha! At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into
everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike.
Breaking boards. Ha! Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
All right, welcome back here as it is nearly time for kickoff, which will be brought to you by Main Street Scoops and Sweets. They offer premium Wisconsin-made ice cream from an in-house bakery with a variety of delicious baked goods. It's always ice cream time at Main Street Scoops and Sweets, and it is nearly playoff football time here for the first time this year.
Playoff football as well.
Yep.
Not just football.
Playoff football. Last year, the Cardinals did the exact same thing, going to the postseason at 4-4. And they won that first-round matchup against Piper, though what was different about that one, first round was at home. This time they are on the road here taking on the Lions. It's a very pretty stadium here, huge bleachers, which you mentioned in the break. It almost makes it look like they don't have good turnout here, but they really do have some pretty substantial turnout, both the Cardinals and the Lions. But the bleachers almost trump the size of their attendance.
It's a gorgeous stadium, worth noting. Everything about this place. Very nice facility for us to be at tonight.
Whew.
And as you did mention about being on the road, Cards' record has actually been better on the road this year than it has at home, which isn't necessarily what you always expect to see, but maybe not a bad sign tonight.
Cardinals will be kicking off to start. They will receive to begin the second half, which is generally the preferable situation, especially if you can get a score in right before the break and then get the ball right back. That can be something where you can get a two-possession lead and try and hold on to that as the game goes on. It will be the star running back, Grayson Moody, to kick off. When Tonganoxie faced off against Lansing, they opted to kick it short the entire game. They wanted to keep it away from their dangerous returner, Makai Butler. But Moody will put this one deep, and it will go to Butler. Brings this one in. Getting some space. He's found a seam. Oh, boy, big return here for Butler to start. He's into Cardinals territory. Watson trying to chase him down. And the Lions are going to start around the 26-yard line. You can see why Tonganoxie felt a little bit scared of Makai Butler.
And I have a feeling Grayson Moody doesn't kick it long for the rest of the day.
That was a big return, and the stats would tell you that that one might have happened. Makai Butler, they say it's a 63-yard return. So just on the edge of the red zone are the Lions to start the game.
Man, just what a start when it comes to energy, and I'll expect to see him keep a lot of that momentum up coming out of the gates here. I expect to see a lot of rhythm and easy tempo stuff to start out, but we have heard this offense has a tendency to try to air things out, so interested to see how they go on the early drives of tonight's playoff match.
Here is the 1st and 10 play. It's given to the running back. That is Jackson Pollard, the sophomore. Cage Crable in on the stop. Apologies, trying to get the scoreboard set up here. 2nd and 8, wanting to throw the quarterback, Oakley. And in the area of Tanner Kell, but good coverage by Connor Watson.
And props to Connor Watson. I know we've mentioned it a little bit this year, but a lot of credit goes to him for not being in that starting quarterback role that he started the season in on the back half, and he's still been very, very reliable at that defensive back safety spot. He's been about as reliable as they come this year. The senior still having a great season despite flipping sides of the field.
So it's 3rd and 8. Oakley again wants to throw. This time he finds Kell. Kell has the first down into the red zone, down to the 10. Watson in on the tackle. Wasn't exactly a screen play there, Hayden. Not sure how you would describe that one, but it was a short pass.
That was fascinating. I didn't get to see what he was doing pre-snap, but he kind of navigated from the right side of the offensive line, and when that ball got to his hands, he was within about 2 feet of the entire offensive and defensive line. It almost was set up like a screen pass. Looked like a little bit of trickery and deception to let him get a free release and get open for a big first down to start this drive.
Again, apologies on the scoreboard. We'll get that fixed in the break. It's 1st and goal here. Just about over a minute has come off the clock. Lansing head coach Pollard, very mad, excuse me, not Coach Pollard. It was, yeah, Coach Rick Pollard, my bad. Trying to sort through my papers here. He was incensed. Something wrong there on that one. Hayden, what do you make of this quick start here as the big kick return, and now they've been slowed down a bit, but they are 1st and goal. How does this make the Cardinals feel early? How are the Lions feeling?
I mean, it's far from ideal for the Cards, of course. You never want to give up that big of a chunk play to start a drive, start a game. But the defense has done a pretty good job tightening up, getting stout. Of course, we know in the red zone everything condenses a little bit, gets a little bit tighter, a little bit harder. But Lansing's done a really, really good job keeping rhythm, keeping flow. It's 1st and goal for a reason. Even despite not quite as much explosiveness, they've got themselves set in a really good spot inside the 10-yard line. Yeah,
and we mentioned the stats show that Lansing are actually, they do really well. They feel comfortable in the red zone, specifically throwing the ball.
Which is rare at this level.
Yeah, very. But they have 22 passing touchdowns on the season. So it is something they really like to do. And they have a different quarterback in. This was Jackson Pollard. Took the direct snap, faked the handoff to Butler.
Fooled me.
Yeah, and they actually have 3 different players that have played that quarterback position. Of course, the starter, Reed Oakley, Jackson Pollard being another one who just had that snap. And Caden Garcia, sophomore quarterback. You see them rotate all of them, and all of them have a few too many passing attempts, so they believe in all of them. Reed Oakley really does not run much, only has 11 carries on the season for 28 yards. He is under center now and throws this one to the left side. It's caught, trying to get to that left part of the end zone. I think it's a great tackle. Des Hubler keeping him out. It was A.J. Allen on that one. His 21st reception. He was looking for a 7th touchdown of the season, but Des Hubler able to keep him out of the end zone. I figure today, through the rest of this game, that we will see Hubler tested deep just like we have the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
He has stood up to the test, but there has been no worry about the deep ball because of that huge kickoff return. Here's 3rd and goal, and it's going to be a touchdown here for Jackson Pollard. The sophomore gets into the end zone. The 3rd and goal play. Cardinals did their best on that drive defensively, but with the short field, it was always going to be tough, and the Lions have opened the scoring.
I was going to say, that's sometimes all you can do if you give up a big play to start. I mean, they had maybe 60 yards less of grass to work with than they would have expected, anticipated to. And all things considered, the defense did a pretty good job. They were making good tackles inside the box, doing a good job in run defense, not allowing anything huge through the tackles. Just like you said, when the field is cut that short, it's so hard on a defense.
So they are set to go for 2, and
it's an interesting
look
formation.
At this formation. They don't have a full offensive line. That's all off to the left side, an offset formation. Oakley's still going to take the snap, gives it to Butler. Butler going to that strong side. Hubler gets in on there. Did he keep him out? It's a dive for the end zone, and he is in. Hubler was able to get there, but wasn't able to actually keep him out. A dive for the end zone from Butler. So this game will start off 8-0 to the Lions.
And that, more so than the big kick return, more so than the first touchdown on a scoring drive, that 2-point conversion is absolutely monumental for me, because from a coaching standpoint, it completely flips how you want to approach this game. Now on that, that's assuming Eudora is able to mount a scoring drive on their first opportunity of the day. But now if they score on this first possession, now Coach Steffen's looking down at his sheet going, do we want to try to tie this up and risk it, or do we take the PAT and still be down by 1 point? It puts the defense in it puts the Cardinals in a really, really tricky spot. And, of course, I have to guess that's why we see Lansing go for those 2-point conversions so often, because if you can figure them out and be successful, especially on opening drives, it just puts your opponent in such a tough spot.
Something about Lansing is they always score. Every game, even when they've lost, they've scored at least 2 touchdowns. They are a very effective offense.
So it's a fireworks show is what you're saying.
Well, yeah, and that's something that unfortunately has not described the Cardinals this season. 2 games, they've had only 7 points put up in a game. Lansing have always at least put up 12 points. Their fewest scoring in a game was 13 because they took 1 PAT. That was against Tonganoxie, actually.
Yep.
And then when they went for 2, they did not get the 2-point conversion. So they lost that game 14-13.
Ended up costing them the game.
This kickoff will go short, be fielded on the far side at the 20-yard line. This is Newt Schreiner, and Schreiner tripped up. He's had a few different squib kicks go to him this season, and on that one he gets maybe 6 or 7 on the return. Cardinals will start around the 28.
Pretty good field position to start off. I like what I'm seeing. Cy Thomas out in formation at quarterback. Keelan Duncan looks to be joining the formation as well. And it'd be easy to get into that mindset of thinking you need to do it all on this first drive, but I would urge the Cards, I would really hope to see them still calm down a little bit, take a breather. It's a touchdown, it's a 2-point conversion, but try to treat this, like most coaches would say, treat it like a 0-0 ball game, right? Go out, play your game, execute well, play clean ball. But really interested to see how these Cards do on an away field in front of a hostile crowd in the playoffs in colder weather. It's a heck of a challenge for these Cardinals.
So 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Cy Thomas, the freshman quarterback. 4 receivers in this formation for the Cardinals. And the back is Duncan. And false starts there from the Cardinals offense.
I'll take things we've seen this year for 500, Alex.
So for the first time tonight, our head official, Dean Pierce, signals. Actually, he says encroachment. How about that? So
wow,
it caught us off guard. We figured we knew what we had just seen, and I did see a few Cardinals players jump, but I suppose the call is that they were reacting. They were jumping because of the Lions' defense. They may have even been set up in an offside position, it sounds like. So 1st and 5, which brought in a personnel change. Now Moody is the back. And Braden Van Dong goes in motion, his first time back in 2 weeks, and another flag.
Surely this one's a false start, right?
No, I just saw another encroachment signal.
Wow.
So does that become an automatic first? I believe it would. Encroachment again on the Lions. So it does indeed hand the Cardinals a free first down. They will take that one.
It's an interesting start.
Yes, it is. So now no personnel changes. We saw what the 1st and 10 play was going to look like with the 4 wide.
It was 11 personnel. Now we're back into 13, it looks like.
Yeah, the same flex bone given to Moody. Moody met very quickly and brought down almost immediately there the tackle from Aiden Lessard.
May have actually been behind the line to gain.
Lessard, says PA. Aiden Lessard. Moody has really not been able to break free in the last 2 games. Tonganoxie shut him down. He only had 1.4 yards per carry in that game. And then even against Paola, where he did score 3 touchdowns, he still was not able to get those big runs that have been characteristic of his season.
Feels like it was much more in the first half as opposed to the later games.
He's only 9 yards away from a 900-yard season. This one given to Duncan, and Duncan does not find any more space than Moody did on his carry. So it's going to be 3rd down, and they still have most of those 10 yards to go.
And it seems like from a coaching perspective for the Lions, what we're seeing is their coaching staff doing their research, knowing that this is a team that likes to run the ball a lot. Here we see a couple of substitutions. Colton Bowser and Braden Van Dong come in. Christian Jarrett and Duncan will come out. But it's very clearly an approach of we know what you're good at. We know you're good at running the ball. We're going to try to take that away early and make you beat us some other way, which that is usually a good call with a freshman quarterback. Here's a bit of urgency.
2 seconds on the play clock. They have to snap this one. And the 3rd down play is a give, and it doesn't go any better than the other ones. They think the ball came out, but it seems like the play was dead by the time that happened. So the Cardinals are going to have to punt here, as it's going to be, I don't know if you still classify that as a 3-and-out, but it feels like a 3-and-out.
It is.
Even though
certainly.
They did get given a free first down by the defense. So Steinlage comes out to punt.
And they're kicking it again, which I'm sure is far from ideal for Coach Steffen.
We saw him with some impressive drop kicks just yesterday in playoff soccer for the Cards. Going to be like kicking a rock, though, in this 50-degree weather. Didn't get it end over end, but it takes a good distance and a great bounce. And it's going to be allowed to roll almost exactly to the 20-yard line before it's down. Looks like the Lions will start right around the 21. So with an 8-point lead for Lansing, what do the Cardinals need to do on this drive? Is it just going to be about forcing a punt, good tackles? What are you thinking, Hayden?
I would very much so be going off of the philosophy of just bend, don't break, right? You don't need to, and thankfully this isn't what we see from the Cards defense. You don't need to go out and force a fumble. You don't need to go get that turnover, that strip sack, whatever else. It is very much so what we've seen all year long. It's so early. You're still only down one possession. This is still anybody's game. Don't let yourself get out of hand yet. Start making those critical errors. Like you said, make fundamental tackles, no penalties at the line of scrimmage. Get this thing under control, and I think they can force a 3-and-out here if all goes well.
This is a more comfortable position, or a more stereotypical position for this Lansing offense, where they like to pass the ball. Or actually, we've said most comfortable in the red zones, which is pretty much where they were from the start.
Close to the dread zone here.
Yes, this first carry goes 3 yards before Nice gets in on the tackle.
That's how it starts, right? Doesn't have to be anything marvelous. Carry for only 3 yards. This is still plenty manageable. And you're right, this Cards defense has got to be feeling so much more comfortable with the field behind them instead of in front of them.
Well, I want to see what Leland Bradshaw's involvement is for the defense. You know, early this season, as Oakley wants to throw and inaccurate towards Butler, Jarrett was in the area, but it was just a bad pass from Oakley. But early this season, the Cardinals were living by the tackle for loss constantly, especially the 1st and 10 tackle for loss. It felt like it happened every single drive.
Oh, they were in the backfield all the time.
It's been quite a while since we've seen that from this Cardinals team. Bradshaw currently not out on the field. It's been Cage Crable that has stepped up. Last 2 games, he had a blocked punt, a forced fumble that he recovered. He basically sealed the game against Paola. But 73's been great. 72 would love to get involved as well and put some pressure on Oakley. The Lions do have a really good offensive line, though. They couldn't stop Van Dong, who hits Oakley as he threw that one. Big play by BVD, the senior, getting in the backfield, hitting Oakley as he threw, just as I was complimenting the Lions O-line, and most of their line stood very strong, but Van Dong was able to get around the tackle and make that throw go off balance, so they do force a 3-and-out.
That was probably 3 inches away from being a ball on the ground, potentially flipping the field, completely changing the dynamic of this game. Braden Van Dong making his impact felt immediately.
So to punt is still Reed Oakley, so Cardinals have to have people in coverage just to make sure, because that is the quarterback, and he gets off a good one. It'll land right around the 45. Jarrett will field it at the 35, running left now, trying to find some space. Gets past 1. Now he's gone back 5 yards. Finds a seam. A flag comes down as Jarrett's still going. Still Jarrett. Just one to beat at this point. And did they say that he stepped out? Not sure why he's slowing down. He's going to score. I don't know what the play call is happening here.
I have a feeling it's going to come right back.
I don't know why Jarrett was jogging like that. He stayed in and scored, but a flag was far back at the 38-yard line. Illegal block in the back, which you see a lot whenever players switch the field running from one side to the other, because then blockers and defenders will be running the opposite direction. So that play, which was still weird. I still don't understand why everybody stopped.
I think he heard the whistle.
There wasn't.
Was there one?
I don't believe there was, but in the end he seemed to know that it wasn't going to count.
But I like that he touched the end zone anyways.
Right?
You see that often where a player will just stop. I say, hold on. You never know what this call is going to be. Make sure to touch the end zone just in case.
So the Cardinals will start at the 29, 1st and 10. After the 3-and-out forced by the defense, a chance to try and respond. They will move it back a further yard, so instead the 28.
And really interesting, if you look at the Lions' defense, they've got 7 or 8 defenders down in the box selling out to stop the run here.
Give here, Moody. Colton Bowser was in there on offense as well, faking that the handoff was given to him.
Hit by number 50, Elijah Mathis, 52, Aiden Leftley. No gain, second down.
There was no gain on that give to Moody, so still unable to find some space for the sophomore. Preston White is in as the far receiver. Both star running backs in the backfield, along with Cy Thomas. Takes the snap, gives to Moody. Moody going left, finds a bit of space, cuts back in. A flag comes in just at the end of the play.
Moody, flag on the play. Tackle made by 32, Jamison Barnes, 33, Noah Mathis.
Barnes and Mathis were in on the tackle. Let's see what the call is here from the official.
I'm thinking a hold on the left side likely.
We do have holding against the Cardinals.
Block in the back, they say.
Couldn't tell. Was it a didn't put enough enunciation.
The PA announcer said block in the back.
No, I'm saying the referee didn't put Dean Pierce didn't put enough enunciation on that motion. Either way, backs up the Cardinals. 2nd and 17. In motion was Van Dong and another flag. There's been a lot of laundry here. Turns out it's laundry day. Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the Lions.
That's
third time already. It must be. I can't explain that because it's not even them jumping. It sounds like they are lining up beyond the line. So that just sounds like something that they're doing to themselves. I don't know that that's anything that the Cardinals would coax them into.
It just sounds like almost undisciplined lining up from the defensive line, which comes down to coaching normally. But, of course, 2 500 teams here.
You'd think by the playoffs they'd have something like that figured out. 2nd and 12. Given here. This is Van Dong. Gets past one tackler. Fumbles! That's recovered by the Lions. It's going to be a Lions football. Van Dong was fighting against his tackler trying to break free, and he did a really good job to get around and punch the ball loose, and then it was recovered by Owen Canaday, his 2nd fumble recovery of the year.
Seemed to just be desperation, trying to make a play happen, trying to fight for those extra yards, especially backed up already on 2nd and long. Those kind of things happen when you haven't been playing for 2 games.
The defense for the Lions, they love to force those turnovers. That's their 9th fumble recovery of the season. They also have 7 interceptions to go along with it. And it sets them up in a really good territory for the 2nd time in this first quarter. They have a very short field. This is thrown by not Oakley. Instead, they find Kell into the end zone. It was Pollard throwing that one for the touchdown. His 4th passing touchdown of the year. Kell with his 6th receiving touchdown of the year, and it is already 14-0 to the Lions.
And that was just simple man-to-man coverage from the Cardinals, which they do run a lot of. Either it was man-to-man or zone coverage. Either way, outside leverage for Connor Watson, and the quarterback found it. He just had the receiver stem that route to the inside a little bit, almost boxing out Connor Watson effectively. Just makes it a one-on-one with a huge leverage advantage. He's going to win that 9 times out of 10.
So they were setting up for a second like they were going to kick. Bonowitz, the kicker, is lined up as a receiver. Pollard runs this one in to score. They tricked the Cardinals by setting up in their PAT squad, and then they end up putting it through to make it 16-0. Cardinals trailing here early. I would say don't worry that this game could be over. This is so early on.
Right.
I honestly had a feeling coming into this game like something like this would happen, that either the Cardinals or Lions would take an early
jump
lead,
out. Yep.
And that you have to understand that this is a matchup where both of these teams are capable of getting back into it. We've seen games like this where it starts like this and it ends up being Bonner Springs, right? It ends up being Independence. That's not going to be the case here today. I can't assure it, but I don't think that
very confident.
Right. I don't think that the Cardinals are significantly worse than the Lions. I think the Lions had a really good kick return, and they got fortunate on that forced fumble and fumble recovery. And so the Cardinals they're starting behind. This is a not an ideal situation.
It's a couple of momentum plays,
though. There is so much football left. Oh my goodness, so much football left to be played. So do not be too discouraged. I implore you.
Yeah, definitely far from an ideal start, but Coach Stefan on the sideline definitely still far from sinking. It's definitely still optimistic over here on the Cards sideline in front of us.
Hubler, the lone returner. Bonowitz to kick it and connects with this one well, but it'll be caught in front of Hubler. Taken in by Preston White, who's working to the right side. Gets through one tackle, still pushing forward. They said his forward progress was stopped around the 32. A strong return from Preston White. So another chance for the Cardinals offense. They'll be hoping for better than that previous drive. Both times the Lions have been handing them some free yards.
Yep.
And that's kind of been the most success that their offense has found so far. They really haven't been able to get anything going. Something we have not seen much of, though, is throwing the ball. I don't think we may not have seen any.
I was just about to mention, with that many players down in the box, they're committing to the run. This is where I'd love to see Coach Stefan try to throw the ball, catch the defense off guard a little bit.
Not on this occasion. Given to Moody. And same way that play's been going so far. Can't get anything more than 1 or 2, and Moody stays down. Slow to get up. Definitely hobbled as well as after he comes up.
And Reed, it's just a numbers game the majority of the time. When it comes down to that coach's decision to run the ball or pass it, you tend to look at the numbers on defense, and if it looks favorable to run the ball, you run the ball. If it looks favorable to throw it, this Lions defense is fully committing to running the ball here.
Well, think about the 1st and 10 before the penalty. We saw 4 wide for the Cardinals. We have not seen that since.
Right.
This time, Sy wants to throw, has Jarrett, finds him, brought in. Christian Jarrett at the 40, swinging back and forth and brought down around the 41. So a first pass and a first catch of the day for the Cardinals offense. Picks up 9.
They're going to rule it 3rd down and 1. So big 3rd down here, but that's exactly what I was wanting to see. It doesn't have to be spectacular. It doesn't have to be these 30 air yard bombs down the field, but just run that play action fake. You have a lot of defenders right up to the line. It just gives Cy Thomas a little bit clearer of a photo of this defense and allows him to find guys like the very elusive and fast Christian Jarrett open underneath for an easy gain.
I think the play call here is pretty likely to be Grayson Moody. He's been able to get at least 1 yard most of his carries. Here he does get it, and he's got more than just a yard. He's got the first and a bit more. Brought down just shy of the 50. But there is something a little more what we're used to seeing for Moody this season. And that carry will also put him over 900 yards on the season, which is just phenomenal.
It's incredible.
Called into action after a week 1 injury to Errol Seaman. Has put up more than 900 yards in his sophomore season. He's been the heart of the Cardinals offense, and he picked up that first down for them here. So now at the 49, and
that ball came out. Whistle dead before.
I don't see a flag. Was there a timeout taken?
I would expect so.
Dead ball, false start. So the first time that the Cardinals get called for a false start tonight. We thought we saw that earlier, but it has happened to be 3 pre-snap penalties against the defense. First time now with the Cardinals with that false start. It's been a problem since week 1. It's been, generally they've gotten a lot better about it, and it happens to every team every once in a while. And it's sort of come to that point where it just kind of happens every once in a while, which is acceptable. Right. It happens.
It'll happen.
But there's another one. Keelan Duncan started too early in the backfield, and really, I've seen this the last few weeks. The Cardinals running backs are regularly starting early in the backfield and generally get away with it. They generally do not get called for it, and that's kind of tough to explain why they continue to do that, because every once in a while it gets flagged. And what's that half step going to do for you? Just stay still. Don't get
still.
5-yard penalty is way worse than the whatever advantage you get from getting a half step before the snap.
It seems to be excitement, but yeah, you said it I think 2 weeks ago that there are more instances where it's not called.
We are seeing the 4 wide for the first time since the 1st and 10 play for the Cards. Preston White, and this will be to Duncan, and Duncan will be brought down by.
He was suplexed at the line right there.
In the backfield, brought down by Jamison Barnes. So the 4 wide was just a decoy on that play. I felt like I saw another false start from the Cardinals.
Again, not calling it necessarily all the time.
Referees
we're
are
seeing it.
Actually being pretty generous.
Right. They're being fairly lenient with this team. But if I'm Coach Stefan, I don't understand why you get in that set and try to run the ball. The entire building knows you're running it at that point. Here we see the formation again.
And Duncan again, the main back, second and long. Sy rolling right, wants to throw. There's going to be holding in the backfield called on Bradshaw as Thomas takes off and gets a good gain, but that gain will not count. Leland Bradshaw got beat by his defensive end and took a hold of his jersey to keep him from getting to the quarterback.
Just shooting yourself in the foot, right, over and over and over. Even when there is a positive play on offense, it's coming right back the majority of the time. Just stuff you can't be doing in a regular game, especially here in November football in the playoffs. But this is also a very young team, and we've seen those penalties get significantly better and clean up significantly better throughout the season. Some of those things that are almost to be expected with a roster this young that is still kind of learning on the fly here.
Yeah, you talk about how young this team is. All 6 touchdowns in that ridiculously high-powered win over Paola were by underclassmen, including 3 different freshmen getting into the end zone. That was Sy Thomas, Des Hubler, and Keelan Duncan. This team has a bright future, but they're also focused on this year here, this playoff game. Keelan Duncan gets the give and could not get anything there on that 2nd and 30 play.
They're buried a mile behind the chains here. Just such a tough spot to get out of as an offense. And this is where 3rd and 27. I would actually expect to see just a run here from Coach Stefan. Likely a handoff to Moody. He'll say keep hands on the ball. Just survive. Survive for the punt attempt, really.
They could take this to the end of the quarter if they want. 5 seconds on the game clock, 10 on the play clock. 2-1. Will they get the snap off? They won't. So that will be the end of the first quarter. 16-0 our score. The Lansing Lions got out to an early lead, and they have pushed it up to a 2-possession lead. Cardinals will switch sides. When they're back, it is 3rd and 27. Keep it here on Eudora Sports Live. We've got playoff football.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
The MVPs of BBQ. That's Barbed Wire Barbecue in Eudora. Family owned and operated, Barbed Wire Barbecue delivers great food and small town hospitality at a valued price. High quality hickory smoked meats, house seasonings, and time tested recipes put Barbed Wire Barbecue a cut above the rest. Kick off your weekend with their delicious brunch on Saturdays and Sundays and enjoy game day your way with Barbed Wire Game Day Packs. Visit them at 601 East 10th in Eudora or see their full lineup of flavors at barbedwirebarbecue.com.
So 3rd and 27, 12 minutes on the clock here. Thomas trying to find some space. He's going to take off, not really doing much to protect the ball. Gets taken down after a pretty good gain. He was knocked over by Noah Mathis.
And I know Coach was over there on the sideline saying, hold on to the ball, hold on to the ball, hold on to the ball.
Yeah, you saw he was holding. That reminds me of Odell Beckham, the way he was
right
holding the football there.
That's a really good analogy, actually. I don't mean to sound so surprised.
So they will have to punt on 4th and 16. It was an 11-yard gain from the QB, but still a long way to go. So it is punted away by Steinlage. Bounces at the 29. It'll roll right out at the 25, maybe 25 and a half.
Would that make it 1st down and 9.5? Or are they going to the 35.5-yard line?
So, Hayden, how are you feeling with the way that this game has gone so far? We're through quarter number 1. What are the feelings here?
Well, like you said, it's of course a deficit. You look at the scoreboard, you would think they've just been vastly outplayed to this point, but that has been far from the case. I would say Lansing has been the better team to this point, but really that scoreboard is indicating 3 or 4 really explosive or fortunate plays that just happen to fall the way of the Lansing Lions. So there's no panic if I'm on the Eudora Cards sideline at this point. Of course, the urgency's cranked up a bit. but no need to panic yet. Just a sequence of events that didn't quite fall their way.
So 1st and 10 from the 25. Reed Oakley, the quarterback. With him, the running back, Jackson Pollard. It'll be given to Pollard. Pollard got maybe 2 before being brought down by Cage Crable and Riley Nice.
Yeah, Cage and Riley just doing a really, really good job on the edges and between the tackles of getting into the backfield right there. This is going to be big if they want to start mounting a comeback here and getting back into this game, would be to keep the Lions from getting the run game rolling, because, of course, with a lead, the number one thing you want to do is if you can get 3, 4, 5 yards of carry, you can run the clock almost all the way out.
Sending in motion here, Butler. Given to Butler, it's fumbled! Loose ball, Butler recovers. Now he's running to the left side, a flag comes in from the official that's all the way in the back of the secondary, throws it down towards the original line of scrimmage. That was an interesting one there. I bet Butler was panicking internally there for a bit, but he managed to recover that fumble.
Almost caught the Cards defense off guard, too. They were looking for the ball, allowed him to pick it up and squeak through a little bit of space.
Flag is holding on the offense.
I would guess right around the time of the fumble. So we'll back it up.
Back him up inside the dread zone. Right at the...
Is that the first time today?
I think so, yeah, at the 18-yard line. It is 2nd and 18, so a good situation for the Cards. They can keep them to a minimal gain here on 2nd and long. Oakley wants to throw left, does throw left. Did he bring it in? They say that he did. Impressive catch there on the sideline,
Really
A.J.
impressive.
Allen.
That's really, really impressive. He got open. He did his job. But that's just such a tough throw, tough catch in that spot. Really, really impressive to get control of the ball, get the feet down in bounds.
You know, I thought just watching the film from Tonganoxie that we would see the Lions want to test Des Hubler the way that the Panthers and Chieftains have done. But
still early.
I think that they've learned their lesson, and they're doing these just as they do there, running a curl route. So they're respecting Hubler. Hubler has earned that respect through these last 2 weeks, making some really good plays, including a huge interception against Paola. And they're having A.J. Allen run at him and then cut back, cutting away. They seem to not think that they can get past him going deep. You know, I was thinking, Hayden, that I feel like Hubler's level of defensive shutdownness has reached the point where we need a nickname, you know, like Revis Island or Lost in the Sauce.
Right.
I think it's the Hubler Dam. I think that
the Hubler Dam?
The Hubler Dam, yeah.
I love it.
There's been a flood of deep threats, and they have hit the barricade that is the Hubler Dam.
I caught your Brett Coleman reference.
Yep.
Lost in the Sauce. I'm with you. I think you're. I mean, I appreciate it though. I respect it. I was talking with the phone crew for Eudora earlier, and they said it almost seems like all these coaches are just seeing 5'8" next to his name and just assuming we can throw on that guy, we can go deep on that guy.
I was thinking it was the freshman next to his name.
It could be both.
So on 4th and 6, they will punt, and Oakley connects with this one really well. It will go
really good punt.
Still in, taking a Lions roll, goes down to the 29-yard line. A nice punt by Reed Oakley. So the Cardinals start at the 29. This has been, they've made a few defensive stands and gotten the ball back and just haven't been able to do much with it, but the opportunities have been there. So if they can get something going, this game is right there for them to get back into it.
I would urge to just throw the ball a little bit more. Sai's been really good at it so far today. The defense is selling out to stop the run. But, of course, I get where Coach Steffen's coming from. If you can run the ball well and establish it early on, it makes everything easier. But at some point, I feel like you got to run with what's working.
I'd love to see some short routes to Keelan Duncan. We saw the success of those a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Sai running an RPO, just kind of two-hand shoves that one to Moody.
The shovel.
I don't know that was, exactly perfect form of any kind, really. But
it worked, right?
It got it to Grayson Moody, and he's given the scorekeepers a challenge to figure if that was a run attempt or a pass. But it doesn't matter. It was a pickup of 8 for Moody.
Matters for the stat sheet, not for us up here in the booth.
Both running backs in the backfield. Jarrett, the near side receiver. Given to Duncan this time. Cuts in. He is met by a few different Lions. Did he get anything on that play? Maybe not.
May have gotten a yard.
It was Aiden Lassard that got to him and held him to no gain. So now the board says 3rd and 1, so they do say that he picked up a yard. Personnel adjustment now. Klobes, Mulvihill going out.
Along with Moody.
Going to be 4 wide for the Cards. Moody in the backfield on a 3rd and short here. Seemingly a run situation, and they want to throw. Thomas does throw over the middle. He's got a man. First down, Cards. That's Gavin Etter. Had his first reception of the season just last week. Went for, find my stat sheet here, went for 21 yards. That one picked up 12. So Gavin Etter getting involved here in the passing game. Love to see it.
Yeah, Reed, I absolutely love that play call. He did such a good job. That's a situation, of course, where you expect the run. That 4 wide spreads the defense out, gives Cy a little bit clearer picture. We'll see it again right here on this new set of downs.
Yeah, it was also bold to do that on 3rd and 1. Makes more sense here on 1st and 10. Thomas has some time, now under pressure, and ends up finding Jarrett.
Oh, my goodness.
That was a dangerous throw. We were making an NFL comparison. That one looked like something Will Levis might try, but it ended up going right to CJ, who brought that one in.
Is that something we call dumb luck? Not at all.
Exactly what he was doing.
I think it was calculated.
That
I think
was
it just looked
really dangerous. Had that gone
right.
wrong, Coach Steffen would have had every right to lose his mind.
I think it was a
freshman QB. But
I think calculated risk is exactly what that was. I think Cy said, I know what I'm doing. I can fit that.
Bit of momentum here for the Cards. They're now in Lions territory. 2nd and 4. Given. Moody. He's got a first, or really close. If he's short, it'll be by a matter of inches. They're going to spot this one and
they are going to spot
make a decision. It is 3rd down. So that is as short of a 3rd and inches as it can be.
Run personnel again here. Jarrett lined up out wide. I would expect to see Moody up the middle for about a yard here.
Mulvihill, the motion man. Moody, he's got more than just a yard. He's still on his feet. Stumbling forward.
He did not fumble.
Down to the 32.
Absolutely phenomenal. He beat me. I thought it was going to be a run straight up the middle. The defense is, of course, selling out to stop it. And very, very smartly by the Cards coaching staff, they chose to bounce that run to the left instead of up the middle, where Grayson Moody had to essentially make one man miss, and then he had plenty of green grass in front of him. Great play call.
Your scoreboard says 2nd and 20, but that's not right. 1st and 10 for the Cards. Moody fumbles! The Lions have it! Again, the Cardinals turn it over.
Recovered by number 7, Tanner Kell.
Wow.
You can go. You're good.
Lions will take over 1st and 10.
I'm speechless, man.
For Moody, that's his 3rd fumble on the season. And the 2nd already today for the Cardinals on a drive that was going really well. A lot of things were going right, even things that wouldn't normally go right for the Cardinals or any team for that matter. Were going well on that drive, and then Grayson Moody, of all people, turning it over.
That first fumble felt like part of the slide. That 2nd fumble felt like it was when the comeback was mounting.
Oakley wants to throw, throws left, no one there.
My eyes keep darting to the sideline after those incomplete passes, looking for a flag. Cards defense doing a really good job of not holding, not pulling, not tripping anybody up. Taking those incompletions as positive plays instead of turning them into something positive for the Lions.
We've seen big involvement from Tanner Kell, who was the intended target on that one. He's got a touchdown already, recovered that fumble. He's been highly involved for the Lions. Cardinals just saw a great offensive drive go away, but it's 2nd and 10 here if they could get the ball right back. Still in a decent situation in this game. Kell over the middle. Is that a fumble? No, the whistles blow. I think that's probably the right call,
that was
but
incomplete.
It was definitely close. And it's, again, that same play that we saw earlier where it's not – I don't think you would call it a screen, but It's as close to a screen as it can be.
It was a variant of a screen, absolutely.
And
I think the definition of a screen pass would be letting one or two offensive linemen leak out to block and then throwing it to somebody underneath, and that's what that was.
Yeah,
certainly a strange variant of
it.
Yeah,
and they sort of just throw it over the head of the Cardinals' defensive lineman that get into the backfield, which is a dangerous play, but they've gotten away with it. But here's 3rd and long. Would be nice if the Cardinals could force a 3 and out. Some trickery in the backfield. Butler fumbles again. Van Dawn gets to it and brings him down. Huge loss.
Massive.
They were going for some razzle-dazzle in the backfield, and for the second time today, Butler put it on the ground and picked it back up. But this time, Van Dong was able to close in and bring him down inside the 20-yard line. So it's going to be 4th and very long. They'll have to punt.
How about BVD making his impact felt today? Showing up and showing out, maybe making up for that earlier mistake. He's been very, very good since then.
2 different returners back for the Cards at different depths for depending on whichever way or how far this punt goes from Oakley. And it is a good one. So it will go past Jarrett. Actually, no, he does field this one at the 42. And he fumbles! Oh my goodness, no! It's a Lions ball!
And they just effectively gained about 20 yards on that. Oh my goodness, what a game. Errors from both sides all over the place. The only difference is the Lions got out to a 2-possession lead before their errors started happening.
Tell you, that's pretty unbelievable right there.
That's incredible.
Jarrett's earlier one where he decided to field the punt, had he just taken it and downed it, it would have been better because there was ended up being the block in the back. This one, fielded it, would have only provided maybe a gain of 7 or 8, and instead turns the ball over, putting the Lions into Cardinals territory when they absolutely do not deserve it. A 3rd lost fumble for the Cards. We're only halfway through quarter 2. Can't imagine Coach Steffen is a very happy man at the moment. The give here to Pollard.
Pollard off right tackle. Tackle made by number 50.
So Hayden, I said that I don't think that either team would need to panic when they get pulled away from, and I think that has been true. The Cardinals have had many opportunities, and had they not fumbled on the previous drive, they would have been in a good spot. Had they not fumbled there, they could have gotten right back to said good spot. But if they can't hold on to the ball, they're not going to be able to do anything with these opportunities they're presenting themselves. But they're still in a good spot here.
They are. Comes down to execution, like you said earlier, like we've preached.
Keep throwing away these opportunities. And here's a throw to Kell. Kell is brought down by Hubler. It's a good tackle, bringing him down just on the edge of the red zone.
And just going back to that punt for Christian Jarrett, it feels like that was the Lions special teams defense unit knowing how Christian Jarrett wanted to play that prior snap, took advantage of his aggression. As here's a run from the Lions. Maybe get about 2. Yeah, it was just they knew from that prior run, from that first punt return, they knew CJ was going to get back there, try to shift around a little bit. And I'm not sure who the defender was, but just got up behind him. And right when CJ tried to kind of motor down and make a move, just popped both arms around his left and right sides going for the ball. Just really good attention to detail from the Lansing Lions. And now they're already up 16-0, driving near the red zone at this point, into the red zone.
It was only his first fumble all year, too, and coming at a very poor time for the Cardinals. This run won't go very far, so it'll be 3rd and short, maybe 3rd and medium.
So I'll ask you, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. Any panic on the Card side at this point, or are you still pretty settled in?
They've given themselves the opportunities, and then they have given them right back. They said no return to sender, and I can't imagine that Steffen's going to be very happy with that. You can't throw away chances like that. In close games like this, you'll only have so many drives. It could sometimes be a number smaller than 10, and they've thrown away some very cheaply here. Oakley wants to throw, has a couple of men in the end zone, but they're covered well. Throws for the back corner, off the hands of Allen, incomplete. Nice coverage by the Cardinals all over the place. That one goes incomplete, so now 4th down.
And yeah, oddly enough, going back to that question of how settled are the Cardinals at this point, because of how many good flashes they've shown, I think I'm not worried yet for that exact reason. If they start executing well, they know their defense can make stops. They know they can move the ball. Just comes down to playing a little bit better, a little bit cleaner in those moments, which is still more than fixable.
They're lining up to attempt a kick here with Aiden Bonowitz. 2 for 3 on field goals this season with a long of 32. This one will be a 32-yarder, so this would match his long of the season. Bonowitz gets it up, and wow, that one very nice. Had a lot of air on it. Could have gone much further than just the 32-yard kick. So it is 19-0 for the Lions. They've got a 3-possession lead. We'll be right back.
The MVPs of BBQ. That's Barbed Wire Barbecue in Eudora. Family owned and operated, Barbed Wire Barbecue delivers great food and small town hospitality at a valued price. High quality hickory smoked meats, house seasonings, and time tested recipes put Barbed Wire Barbecue a cut above the rest. Kick off your weekend with their delicious brunch on Saturdays and Sundays and enjoy game day your way with Barbed Wire Game Day Packs. Visit them at 601 East 10th in Eudora or see their full lineup of flavors at barbedwirebarbecue.com.
So the Cardinals will receive another kickoff here, as they have done so 3 times now. They will also receive the first kick of the second half, so if they could get one score back, that would be very massive. And I think at this point, they probably would be in go-for-2 territory, which they only had their first 2-point conversion last week against Paola.
I almost wonder if you don't, though. I mean, if you go 7-7-7, you'd be looking at 21 points. So if you're able to score on this drive, make a stop, go into halftime, 14-19 is still a 1-possession game. But neither call would be wrong in this instance.
Bonowitz preparing to kick it away. Just Hubler back deep. Preston White right in front of him. This one kicked low. So it's going to be fielded. This is Mulvihill. Bryce Mulvihill is met around the 27. Bowser was in on that one and took an awkward hit.
He did.
Yeah, he comes off a little bit hobbled as well. Hopefully Bowser's all right. He's been getting more involved on offense, adding on to his great involvement he's had defensively all year long.
He's been very, very good on defense all season. Big receiver set here for the Cards. 4 wide again.
And every time they've done this 4 wide, it's been Duncan as the main back rather than Moody. Seems like he is that receiving back for the Cards. Thomas wants to go deep. Hubler's in behind the defense. Hubler's got it. Des Hubler. He's brought down inside the red zone, but the Cardinals with a huge gain.
Des Hubler, he's barely even seen the field on offense this season.
That's only his 2nd reception of the year. His first one with 37 yards for a touchdown. That one nearly was a touchdown too, but the Cards inside the red zone. Des Hubler.
Incredible. Cy Thomas saw it from a mile away too. You could see the exact moment he set his feet, started looking downfield, dropped a perfect ball right into the hands of the freshman. Freshman to freshman, actually.
He's still out there, Hubler, as well as the full 4-receiver set. They go across. Woo! Duncan had a lot of grass in front of him.
Just a missed opportunity.
Add it to the list for the Cardinals. He had a lot of space in front because the 3 receivers over there had pulled all of the secondary deep. And that screenplay would have definitely been a decent gain, if not more, maybe even a touchdown.
Yeah.
But it goes amiss. Now Duncan will check out for Moody. Set up looking like it's going to be a run play here on 2nd and 10. And it will. And Moody is nearly upended. He was met really early there. He actually did a good job to even get 3 or 4 out of that one, but he was met almost immediately by Aiden Leftwich.
Air it out. Air it out. I'd love to see it. Cy Thomas has been really, really good to this point. And, of course, in a hole as well, big time on scoring. I get wanting to run a little clock off. But I would likely be trusting, as weird as it may sound, I'd be trusting the freshman at this point to go out and try to get some points.
Well, I've got good news. The receiving package just went back in. So here is that 4-wide formation again. Hubler in the slot. White the middle of 3. Thomas getting pressure, and he's brought down by Leftwich. Just made a good play to hit Moody the second he was given the ball. And this time brings him down. Don't know if you call that a sack or just a tackle. Doesn't really matter. Cardinals don't go anywhere on that third down play.
They will say tackle for loss. Yep, so that'll be a sack of maybe about a 2-yard loss, yard or two. It's going to bring up 4th and long. Looks like the offense is still out on the field.
This is something I talked with Coach Steffen about, turning down opportunities for relatively short field goals. He said it's because his team has worked really hard on their red zone offense. But before they go here, Steffen's going to take a timeout. The play clock had run down on them. So they will go ahead and talk this one over, considering the field goal. But I don't think that will be the conclusion of this talk.
I agree.
I think they're going to go for it. Steffen talked about that. He knows his team have had these struggles in the red zone, so they've worked on it, and they've worked hard on it. And so he wants to see that work get to play out in the game. He's not going to take that opportunity away from his players to put what they've been practicing in action in a game.
Which there's no better way to improve on it, right? If you have an issue, if you have a weak point, that's going to be by far the best way to improve it, is to go out and do it over and over and over.
So it's an interesting package out there on the field. I'm seeing Houston Carnegie along with Cy Thomas. Hubler came out. So did
Jarrett.
Klobes. This is whatever this huddle is about to assume is going to be a very unique formation. Carnegie playing a sort of a tight end. No, he's a receiver on the end of the line. This is something very new for the Cardinals. It's going to be a double pass. That's why Carnegie's in. Here's Houston Carnegie. He had Cy Thomas downfield. He's going to try and run for it. I don't know if he got enough. I don't think so.
I actually thought he may have.
Well, no, to get the first one actually would have been
he would have had to go all the way.
No, it wasn't really even close.
You're correct.
He was just working his way back towards the line of scrimmage. I like the creative play. It's really giving a bit of a taste of their own medicine. We saw something extremely similar to that from the Lions earlier that didn't go very well for them. But
make it 2 for 2.
Yeah, Carnegie couldn't get that one off. His target would have been Cy Thomas on that left side, but the razzle dazzle, as I called it before, I'll call it again, did not work out there. Lions take over just at the edge of the dread zone.
That's
2:28 left here.
That's a critical drive to not come away with points on. That's the first one today where I've been truly a little bit down on them not getting points out of it.
Yeah, looking more and more likely that they might. Oh, here's a throw towards Allen. Tipped up, and they might call interference on Hubler. But I think they would be pretty unhappy if they go to the break without anything to show for it. Yes, it is pass interference on Hubler. So that will be a 15-yard penalty and give them a first. First time we've seen any bit of a mistake from Hubler over there. The only 2 other receptions he's allowed were those curl routes, and he immediately wrapped up and made the tackle.
Yep.
So it's 1st and 10. Oakley throws. He was under pressure from Van Dong. Hubler over there. He's beat. It's A.J. Allen. He's going to score. Des Hubler also down hurt, but he just got beat for the first time in these last 3 weeks where he's been tested.
Flag comes in.
May have just been
likely on the celebration.
Yeah, it's going to be excessive celebration on A.J. Allen. Janovec thinks that it might not get to stand, but I think that flag was after the play. We'll see what the officials call here, but also concern for Hubler, who went for the ball in the air and came down hurt. Yeah, you can pull away from Hubler.
Yep.
They're going to take a timeout, and we'll take a break as well once we can, but we want to know what the call was on that play. What was it? Just excessive celebration, or was it something else? Because Janovec seemed to think that it might be something that could negate the touchdown. Hubler's able to get up. Seems to be walking okay as well. May have been something with his upper body. So the
looks like it
flag
may have been
for
right
Pierce
shoulder.
is unsportsmanlike conduct on the Lions. So the touchdown does stand. It was on A.J. Allen's celebration after the play. So the Lions really are running up the score here a bit before the break. It's 25-0, and they're setting up in this same offset formation again as they're going to go for two. Last time they did this, they ended up running it on a jet sweep towards that strong side with the full offensive line. And now they're going to quickly audible into a PAT, and then no, they abandon it again. Bonowitz and Oakley both getting away, so now the quarterback's going to be Pollard. Pollard takes the snap, runs right, and he's going to be wrapped up and brought down. It was Bryce Mulvihill bringing him down short of the end zone. There's a flag down. Referee says false start, and you can't decline false start as far as I'm aware.
You cannot.
So that would mean that play would happen again. Cardinals defense has left the field, but false start. Oh, no, okay. PA said illegal procedure. Whatever it is, penalty is declined, so Bryce Mulvihill's tackle stands.
I would have to think something on the setup of the two-point conversion because there was a lot of moving around from the entire team.
Yeah, so 25-0 will be the score right now. Hopefully Des Hubler's all right. He got beat. We've complimented him the last 2 weeks. He's been constantly doing that, and we haven't really known why. I still, even though he just got beat, I still don't really know why. They feel like there's something that they can beat Des Hubler over the top easily. It's absolutely not. Even on that play, he was right there.
Well, there is another element to it that you could add in from a coaching perspective. Even if nothing had worked in a big way yet, you could certainly look at it as, hey, he's in tight one-on-one coverage a lot of the time, and he's making these plays by very, very slim margins. From a coaching perspective, they might be looking at that and saying it's just a matter of time, right? If we keep testing it, eventually he's going to miss one. Eventually he's not quite going to get to the ball, and we're going to see exactly what you just saw.
So this is a big spot here because they're having to kick 15 yards further back. Des Hubler's already back out there deep to return, so that's good news. This will put the Cardinals in a good spot if they can do well with this and if they can hold on to the ball.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Hold on to it above all else.
Bonowitz kicks this one, connects with it well. It will go all the way back to Hubler. Catches it at the 24. Bringing it out, trying to find some space. Gets past the first tackler, wrapped up down at the 40. So the Cardinals with a decently short field, and now I saw another couple players down on that one, but both of them pop up for the Cards. Just over 2 minutes. It's a 2-minute drill for the Cards. They got 60 yards to go. You'd have to imagine we'll see that passing set, but if that passing set doesn't get to have Des Hubler out there, it doesn't feel like quite the same strength in that unit.
Right.
But they are in the run package here right now. And they will run. Moody finds a lot of space at the 40, still going. Big run, Grayson Moody. Found some freedom there finally, down to the 32.
It looks like he got out of bounds, so it's going to stop the clock as well.
Well, the first down will temporarily stop it for the chain gang at least. But you might be right. He may have also gotten out.
They're going to say he was in. Either way, we're still just under 2 minutes. Plenty of time left here. We're going to see a little more hustle now, I'd expect, out of the Cards offense.
I thought it was a bit of a give-up call from Steffen, but no, he knew what Grayson Moody is capable of, and as do we. But we were thinking maybe a passing play, which now it will be. Moody throwing for Van Dong. Van Dong inside the red zone. Stiff arms a man. Van Dong's going to score. The Cardinals will not go to the break scoreless. Touchdown, Braden Van Dong.
Welcome back, Braden Van Dong. Oh, how we have missed you in these last couple of weeks. What a phenomenal move to make one man miss, and then all the explosiveness right after the move to burst down the sideline, become untouchable essentially. And that, even if the numbers don't look phenomenal still, that is massive for momentum, especially going into the halftime break with the Cards receiving the kick.
Steinlage was going out there for a second, but then got called back to the sideline, which tells you Cardinals are going for two. Only have had one two-point conversion attempt this season, and it was successful.
50% better than the Lions rate on him to this season, to this point.
Again, the run package. Preston White, the near receiver. Mulvihill in motion. Thomas wants to throw. Thomas, no one really open for him. No, he does find someone. Van Dong nearly had it, but it was tipped. Very nice coverage. Makai Butler just at the last second getting it away as Van Dong was trying to get the octo score there, but could not. So it'll just stay 25-6. Still a great thing for the Cardinals to have scored. Not go into the break with a 0 on the board. And I think that will be really, really big for confidence, belief, momentum.
That's massive.
Still 90 seconds left, though. It's still work to be done now for the Cardinals defense. Maybe even a chance for them to make a big play. Who knows?
Yeah, that was huge. Even if the two-point conversion wasn't successful, looking a little bit shy of that, that was huge. I mean, we were looking at a scoreless first half here, which just completely deflates the team going into the locker room. That has completely flipped the script and showed this team that not only can we move down the field and then, get close, we can finish these drives and we can score points.
Well, yeah, and what's interesting, too, is both the touchdown and the two-point play were passes out of that run package, which could just mean that there might be a little bit more freedom for Moody to make big plays like he did at the start of that drive.
Yep.
Because the Lions might have to back off a little bit and respect the potential of a passing play out of that formation. Drops at the 15 here where it's fielded and fumbled. And so then he just has to fall on top of it, Sawyer Jorgensen.
Chip starting to fall.
So they'll start in the dread zone. Minute 25 is all that's left here.
And Reed, going back to what you said there about if Cy Thomas is able to throw the ball well out of that flexbone package, it'll make life a little easier for Grayson Moody and Keelan Duncan. When the offense is humming, it makes everything easier. And usually you see it the other way around where a coach wants to run the ball early, establish that, and then open up the pass game. But if the Lions come in here wanting to run the ball, wanting to stop the run, and the Cardinals come out throwing, and then you can open up the run from there, that could really mount a big scoring comeback here in the later minutes of the first half, maybe in the second half as well.
Oakley gives. Crable brings down the running back, Pollard.
You think they're trying to hold to nothing or what? The attitude on the tackling at the line right there. Nobody wanting to let that running back move an inch.
So the clock running here. Just under 30 seconds left on the play clock if the Lions want to kill most of this clock and try to get into the halftime locker room. Three wide for Oakley. Also a tight end. It's given and in the backfield, blown up. Braden Van Dong.
You think he's happy to be back or what?
And coach is going to take a timeout because he's seeing his defense make some big plays. He wants to potentially preserve some time for his offense.
And I believe we had only used one timeout to that point, so Coach Stephan, he had two in his pocket at that point. He couldn't use one right there if he wanted to get the timeout after a third down stop, so he had to let some clock run. That was best case scenario. Lions run a little bit of clock, a good play on first down, backs up second down, which backs up to third and long. Now Coach Stephan has one more timeout to use if they can make a stop here. Maybe force a punt to get the ball back with around 30 seconds left.
So some belief for the Cardinals here.
Yeah.
If nothing else, they'll go to the break knowing what they're capable of, which we had already seen, but man, the 3 lost fumbles is always going to kill any performance for an offense. So just good to see that they can get it done. I think that's going to be more of a thing for them to realize what they're capable of. Also, they threw 2.5 seconds back up on the clock, so 44 seconds before the halftime break. 1 timeout left for the Cardinals, 2 remaining for the Lions. Oakley looking left. He's got 3 or 4 targets over there. Has to evade the pocket. Throws now and it'll go incomplete, which means the clock stays stopped.
Saving a timeout. That's 4th and 13 now. I would expect to see a punt.
It was good coverage from Keelan Duncan.
Keelan Duncan and on defense making coverage. We love to see that. And this is, again, I said best case scenario before. This is better best case scenario.
And I love the timeout call from Stephan to keep that time, believe in his team. Speaking of maintaining belief, Christian Jarrett still out there after his last return was fumbled. He would like to get another chance to do better. Oakley standing just outside of his own end zone. Gets that one away only barely. Drops it around the 50, and the Cardinals players will let this one roll, which means that there'll also be some time coming off the clock. It was bumped at the 41.
Crowd noticed it. So 26 seconds to go, one timeout.
You know, it's funny. I actually noticed that the Lions do something similar against the Chieftains. That's actually really dangerous to just boot the ball but not actually down it, because technically if the Cardinals pick that up,
that's a live ball.
It's a live ball, and if they fumble it, it doesn't matter, because whenever you do that, the offense is allowed to take the ball back wherever the defense first touched it. It's a really weird thing to try to fully explain, but
kind of a loophole in the rules.
Downing a punt is technically illegal, but not really. I can't really explain it to you, but they shouldn't do that, but they keep doing it. Thomas wants to throw here. Working in the pocket, flips that one away to Duncan. Will coach call a timeout as he's brought down inbounds? He will. Cards take their final timeout.
A little bit of backyard football on a Friday night. Why not?
But yeah, so it's called a violation in the rule book to touch the ball first, but the penalty for violation is that the receiving team just gets to take the ball wherever it was first touched. And so that means
it doesn't matter if you down it when the ball stops.
Right, and so if you pick it up or you down it, then the referees will just stop the play and turn it over. But if you touch it but don't control it, and then the other team takes it,
they will automatically get the ball.
No matter what happens, the worst case scenario is they can take it back where you first touched it. So if they take it and fumble, it doesn't matter. Things can only go better for the offense.
It's really risky.
Yes, and they did that against Tongi, and no one. And I was just watching it. I was like, no one really noticed that, but they really shouldn't do that, and they did it again there. I don't
Fascinating.
know. I don't think that I'm a total rules geek. I don't know that anybody would really know about that or care, but technically they really should not do that.
You're saying we have personalities here on Eudora Sports Live.
Yeah.
I'm into X's and O's. You're into rules.
I am Reed the rules guy. That is who I am. 16.2 left here, 2nd and 7. No timeouts remaining for the Cards.
I was trying to find a fun acronym for my name.
Thomas wants to throw under pressure now. Shouldn't take off with this one, but he will, and he gets wrapped up. So that will take us to halftime. 25-6 will be the score. The Cardinals couldn't get any last-second scoring in, but they did get the final say, getting that touchdown to Braden Van Dong in a first half where they shot themselves in the foot pretty bad. 3 different lost fumbles, but not a horrible spot. A lot of work to be done. 25-6 is our score. When we're back, it's the halftime show. Keep it here on Eudora Sports Live.
High-quality foods, friendly service, great prices, and a connection to the community that is unsurpassed. That's Jean's Heartland Foods in Eudora. Family-owned, Jean's Heartland Foods offers a convenient one-stop shop, delivering the everyday essentials you need to specialty items from around the world. Jean's friendly staff is here to help you find exactly what you're looking for. You have options when it comes to feeding your family. Choose to support local. Choose Jean's Heartland Foods, 1402 Church Street in Eudora, or online at heartlandfoodstores.com.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
right, hello everybody. Welcome in. Reed McAvoy here with you for the Jeans Heartland Foods halftime show. Shop local and support local at Jeans Heartland Foods. Visit their website, eudora.heartlandfoods.com, to sign up for exclusive offers and rewards today. So a fascinating first half there. A lot of things went wrong for the Cardinals, but quite a few things went right. They just didn't get to capitalize or do anything with those things going right. We saw a great play, a great catch from Des Hubler. We've seen a big run from Moody, which that one did contribute to their one score for the Cards, but there was 3 different fumbles, one coming around the 30-yard line that ended up killing a really great offensive drive, one that was on the ensuing punt when the defense made a great stand, and Jarrett turned that one over. And then there was one that was before both of those where Grayson Moody turned the ball over. Braden Van Dong turned the ball over. Some really poorly timed, but there's never a great time to fumble, but the Cardinals really were turned away some really good offensive opportunities here in this game, and they find themselves trailing pretty bad for it, down 3 possessions, down 19. It's 25-6. But as I was talking about with Hayden, I knew that this would be a game where both teams would have a chance at any point in time. This game, it doesn't feel like it will be over. It has sort of almost felt like it's bordering on that, but this is a game that is very evenly matched. And so if the scoreboard doesn't reflect that, just give it time. That's how I've approached this game, and you've seen it. Your Cardinals they've had some good opportunities. They just need to hold on to the football, which is always going to be tough when it's cold, and it's always going to be tough against a ball-hawking defense like this. The nearly 20 turnovers on the season. They are really adept at getting the ball out of their opponent's hands, turning over the offense. They are very talented at that. And the Cardinals have not been extremely talented at protecting the ball this season. And so it's really started to hurt them here with the 3 lost fumbles is just unbelievable. But in the second quarter, they started to protect it better. And I think that I imagine they'll go to the halftime locker room. Stefan will give them a good talking to, give them some good encouragement, and I think that we will see a very directed Cardinals team coming out for the second half here of this playoff game as they try to prolong this season, extend this season, earn another game here on the road in Lansing. It's been a confusing one for the Cardinals, but I think there are a lot of positive signs, and good things are yet to come for the Cardinals here that I think they can make happen. So we'll see when the second half gets here. Still over 10 minutes to go here in this halftime break. We will go to another commercial break here on the halftime show.
Number one, obviously, is safety. We definitely call 811 to find out if there are any buried lines, fiber optic, whether it be telephone or pipeline or anything. Don't take a chance. Don't think you know and say, well, I don't remember anything being put in there. Call 811 and make sure that that's identified, that there isn't something there before you make that crossing. Because in the end, we want everybody going home.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know. It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
The MVPs of BBQ. That's Barbed Wire Barbecue in Eudora. Family owned and operated, Barbed Wire Barbecue delivers great food and small town hospitality at a valued price. High quality hickory smoked meats, house seasonings, and time tested recipes put Barbed Wire Barbecue a cut above the rest. Kick off your weekend with their delicious brunch on Saturdays and Sundays and enjoy game day your way with Barbed Wire Game Day Packs. Visit them at 601 East 10th in Eudora or see their full lineup of flavors at barbedwirebarbecue.com. Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
All right, back for another part of this Gene Heartland Foods halftime show. Hayden Harves back here with Reed McAvoy. So we sort of recapped that first half. There was the big kick return right off the bat, the 63-yard return from Butler that gave the Lions a short field. Then the Cardinals turned it over. Moody fumbling, giving them a short, or Van Dong actually fumbling, giving them another short field. So they broke out to that quick 16-0 lead. And then it's been a weird one since then, but I recapped most of that in that first break. So Hayden, the halftime talk from Coach Steffen, I think it'll probably be a little bit more nice considering the way that they played right at the end, but I think he'll have a lot of very justified criticism for his team. The 3 lost fumbles is so killer. But otherwise, the defense has been strong. The offense generally has been moving. They've had a few pretty weak drives, but generally they've been able to get it going, especially right at the end. So what do you think what might he be changing? What might he be sticking with? And who do you think he'll be calling on to really make a difference individually in the second half?
That's a really, really good question. I think when it comes down to changes and what Coach Steffen might want to adjust, I've said it before this season, as weird as it may sound, I wouldn't be adjusting a whole lot. I wouldn't necessarily be changing the game plan or making any huge adjustments. The main adjustment is clean up the play. Don't fumble the ball. Don't have those false start penalties. Play a little bit tighter on defense. Don't grab. Don't hold. That is really the only legit criticism of this team, maybe special teams as well, but that's the vast majority of this big hole has just been the Cards' defense playing fairly stout and then the offense almost immediately giving the ball back away, and the defense hasn't really been able to do their jobs because they've had such short fields to work with. When they've had a drive starting from the 20 to 30-yard line, they forced 3 and outs today. They've been very, very good. But when you put your defense in that tough of a position, it makes it so hard to succeed. I think Coach Steffen's main point would be clean up the play, execute. We know what we have to do, and we know based off of the end of that first half that we can do it. And when you look at main players who I think he might call upon to make those adjustments, I think Christian Jarrett would have to. You'd have to go back to him. Maybe an old Andy Reid principle, right? If a guy makes a mistake, you go right back to him to get that confidence up. He's already been very good tonight, and we know giving him that extra little bit of confidence can make all the difference in the world. Cy Thomas, of course, Des Hubler, of course. My main player to watch would be Braden Van Dong, who's already made a huge impact in this game. I would look for at least one, if not maybe more.
Not all good. His impact with the fumble.
Right. Not necessarily all good, but he made a couple of really, really good impactful plays after that mistake. He really cleaned up his play personally. I would not be surprised at all to see a critical moment, a huge game-swinging, game-changing moment come from him later in this game. So that'd be my main message, is clean up the play, execute a little better, and then be ready to perform and have that signature moment if I call your number, which he certainly will down this big of a hole.
What do you make of the touchdown over Des Hubler's head after we've seen 2 strong weeks from him? So strong that I called him the Hubler Dam. And he was still right there, but what do you make of that? Do you think that they'll continue to attack him now that happened? How does that affect his confidence? Just what do you make of it on the whole?
I think they will certainly test him. I think they will certainly go back to him because now they think they've seen a chink in the armor. Keyword, they think they've seen a chink in the armor. I don't make that much of it because it's bound to happen. You live by the sword, you die by the sword to an extent. He's been so aggressive, and most of the time this year, since kind of his coming out party, I'd say against Ottawa, where he was really, really good, he has been on an island much of the time, week after week after week. That's just a numbers game. That's bound to happen. You're going to lose a rep eventually. So I think his confidence, it may be depleted a little bit. I think Coach is going to do all he can to keep his confidence high. But that was not, I don't think that was a sign of a decline from Des Hubler. I think if they continue to test him, he will continue to have signature moments and big plays. I think it was just a matter of a guy who hadn't started a whole lot. And the more time you get on the field, the more snaps you get, and the more you play, all things considered, a kind of reckless style of defense, eventually you're going to get bit And the fact that he's only gotten bit one time by that is really a testament to how talented of a player he is.
Yeah, so it was a very there were a lot of things happening in that first half, but a lot of good things, really were.
Yeah.
They just, you're
Upsides.
right. You're right. They don't necessarily need to change much. There were a few drives that they didn't really get started, but same can be said for the Lions, and yet they find themselves with a 3-possession lead.
Right.
And so I think that this Cardinals defense is capable of holding the Lions at bay. This offense is capable of scoring. They just need to hold on to the ball. And so, yeah, not much needs to change other than riding the momentum of that last push at the end of the second quarter.
Yep.
And, maybe get some extra hot hands, keep those fingers warm so they can hold on to the football. We will take another break here on the halftime show, under 3 minutes from second half kick.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
Just like the Cardinals are striving for success, Kaw Valley State Bank's mission is your success. At Kaw Valley State Bank, they provide the best, most efficient, courteous, and professional banking services possible. And at Kaw Valley, they recognize that the customer and their satisfaction is the most important ingredient to growing their community. With all the services you've come to expect from the hometown partner you deserve, Kaw Valley State Bank, online at kvsb.com, a proud supporter of Eudora Schools.
Hey, I'm Mike Rope, here today to encourage you to connect with 811 before you dig.
And I'm Micro, and I'm here because I love to dig in the dirt.
It's true. He's also here because he's very small and not that bright.
Here, for instance, we can see Micro doing what he loves to do.
And here we can see the consequences of not doing what he should have done. Dude, why didn't you call 811?
I forgot the number.
See? Not that bright.
High-quality foods, friendly service, great prices, and a connection to the community that is unsurpassed. That's Jean's Heartland Foods in Eudora. Family-owned, Jean's Heartland Foods offers a convenient one-stop shop, delivering the everyday essentials you need to specialty items from around the world. Jean's friendly staff is here to help you find exactly what you're looking for. You have options when it comes to feeding your family. Choose to support local. Choose Jean's Heartland Foods, 1402 Church Street in Eudora, or online at heartlandfoodstores.com.
.30 seconds left on the clock here for the second half kick. See, though, both teams are still warming up, so I think they'll probably do what we've seen them do most games, which is throw another 3 on the clock. We'll keep you here until that happens, at least. You want to show the Cardinals warming up, Hayden? On the right side of the field, wearing those shiny white jerseys. Yep, they will throw another 3 minutes up on the clock. So we will go to another break here. So we've pretty much talked about everything that there is to talk about here from that first half. You know what the fundamentals are for the Cards. Hold on to the ball, make good plays, continue how they have been defensively, and just keep playing some good offense. So 2.5 left before the second half kick. We'll go to one more break.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers, we have leaders in business,
is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
I used to drive an ambulance as an EMT, and I've always tried to be a safe driver. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. In my car, if I see a truck or bus taking a turn, I know to take my time. When big vehicles turn right, they may swing wide to make the turn. If you try to sneak in, well, it's a lesson you'd rather not learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait. It's our roads, it's our safety.
The MVPs of BBQ. That's Barbed Wire Barbecue in Eudora. Family owned and operated, Barbed Wire Barbecue delivers great food and small town hospitality at a valued price. High quality hickory smoked meats, house seasonings, and time tested recipes put Barbed Wire Barbecue a cut above the rest. Kick off your weekend with their delicious brunch on Saturdays and Sundays and enjoy game day your way with Barbed Wire Game Day Packs. Visit them at 601 East 10th in Eudora or see their full lineup of flavors at barbedwirebarbecue.com.
All right, so we are back for the third quarter. Cardinals will start with the ball, which is big. They'll get right back to it, right back on offense and working on holding on to the football. That is priority numero uno. Des Hubler back to receive Bonowitz's kick, who does connect with it well, but it'll actually be fielded by Mulvihill. Catches it at the 10, now at the 25, where he is wrapped up and brought down. So the Cardinals starting just short of the 30.
Yeah, and if I had to guess, Coach Steffen's locker room speech had something to do with hold on to the ball. Hold on to the ball. That is the one thing from that first half that we cannot afford to continue.
So do you think this drive here, as they get the opportunity to set the tone for the second half,
this is
do we
huge.
see more passing or running? I mean, and factor in how much we've seen Coach Steffen run the ball. He's very devout to running the ball.
I think we will see more runs. I think we maybe should see more pass, but I'd expect about a 60-40 split. I'd expect it to be close.
Here's the first run of the game, of the half for Moody, as this is potentially, hopefully not, but potentially the final half of 2024 Cardinals football.
Yeah, very well could be.
This team will be fighting to make sure that that is not the case.
Fighting to keep the season alive, fighting to keep the day alive, fighting to keep the high school careers of a couple of these players, including Christian Jarrett lining up out wide, alive.
This is 4 wide. Moody was in the backfield. He's a blocker, an extra for Thomas, who throws to Jarrett. It's deflected and nearly picked. Woo! It wasn't a bad throw towards Jarrett, but it was a really solid play by Makai Butler.
It's a phenomenal play. To go up, get a finger on that, tip the ball up in the air, give his team an opportunity to go get it.
And that would have probably been a pick six. You could not have thought of a worse start if that had been caught and returned for a touchdown. It would have just been the most deflating thing.
May have been a dagger.
But the Cardinals do live to see another down, but it's 3rd down and 10, so they need to get going here. Try to avoid a 3-and-out to start off the third quarter.
Run formation again, run personnel.
2 receivers, though, which is different. But it is a run. No, Thomas still has it. It was a good fake. Running around under pressure. He's going to tuck this one and run. Cy Thomas! He's got the first and more.
Unbelievable.
I have no idea how he did that.
I know we're close to Kansas City, so it feels like I'm truly not just saying it to say it. That looked like Patrick Mahomes in the pocket, turning left and right to make defenders miss. And not only that, but he had bodies flying all around him, red and white alike, and did a phenomenal job of positioning himself, just slipping through tackles.
He didn't really get any time to look downfield. The second he picked his eyes up, there was tons of pressure around. He was running like a mouse in a maze, trying to get out, and I cannot believe
he did it well.
He found space. He found a seam.
Keeps
he got
the drive
a first
alive.
down for the Cards.
That was massive. That was absolutely massive.
Now a give. Moody with some space, or no, not space, rather some strength.
There wasn't a lot of space there, but as per usual, Grayson Moody makes the space.
Yes.
And you're right. I heard you mention it. I believe it was in the pregame show. Maybe it was on that first drive. It has been weeks since we have seen Grayson Moody really have one of those days where he just gets rolling. You see 4, 5, 6 yards per carry.
We're seeing him grow into the game a bit, though.
Yes, absolutely. The maturity is getting higher.
In that touchdown drive. And just then, a nice pickup of 6. Here he'll get another go. And this time met almost immediately by Lassard.
Good news is a big gain on first down means this is third down and plenty manageable. I believe it'll be 4 yards to go. That'll be considered third down and short. Definitely keeps the playbook fairly open. I would look to throw here just because they've been so good at it, but this Lansing defense has been stout so far tonight.
We saw a 3rd and 1 big passing play earlier, and I was very surprised thinking that Coach Steffen would make that play call. Your screen says 2nd and 4, but this is 3rd and a little bit shorter. Is this going to be Thomas? He will throw to Jarrett. First down and more. Jarrett still going at the 30. Pushed out at the 25. Christian Jarrett.
We talked about wanting some redemption, talked about getting CJ back involved, get the confidence up a little bit, and now you're starting to see a little bit of the swagger from this Cards offense, maybe getting a little bit of their mojo back here.
You know, I'm thinking the way that some pitchers that get complimented for pitching backwards, or they throw the changeup in the fastball counts and then fastball in the off-speed counts. I feel like Coach Steffen is doing his playbook backwards, where he'll run it until he gets to a 3rd and short, and then that's the passing down. And you got to love it. It's worked here in this game twice now against the Lions. Here's 1st and 10. Thomas keeps. He wants to run. He's got a little bit as a flag in the secondary as Thomas gets probably 6 or 7.
Could be a hold in the backfield. That's where the flag is sitting.
The call from Pierce, holding on the Cards. So that's that'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot wherever Thomas was when the holding occurred.
Also heard an onlooker below us say they're trying to kill our momentum, which I wouldn't go that far, but it does certainly kill momentum. Those penalties are referred to as drive killers for that reason. I mean, you get rolling.
You can blame the refs, but how about don't hold?
Don't hold. I don't agree that it is an intentional call. However, it is true that that is a good way to kill momentum.
1st and 19 now from the 33. Still in that run formation, but Thomas will give. Moody could not go anywhere. It's weird the way that Lansing tackle. They none of them really get low.
It's all up high, shoulders, pads.
Yes, but they've done well to break to the ball and get everyone in. I did notice that in watching the game against Tongi. There are a lot of arm tackles, and those don't generally go well, especially not against Grayson Moody, but they have a lot of big bodies and they're strong players, tons of big linemen that can just overpower Grayson Moody. It'll be 2nd and 19. Thomas wants to throw. Van Dong's over there. He does go to Van Dong, who brings that one in, and he's still going. Trucks a man, and then he's brought to the ground around the 25. I think he's going to be just short of a first, and I mean just.
How impressive, though, to get almost all of those yards back on that play. They're backed up so far.
And you might have noticed that he didn't immediately catch that one. It was
juggled.
Yes, he was bouncing it around. My mistake. I said nearly a first down. It's nearly back to the original line of scrimmage.
Makes more sense.
That's my fault. So from 3rd and 19, it's now 3rd and 10. Or 2nd and 19, now 3rd and 10.
Also worth noting, Braden Van Dong out of the game, favoring his left leg. Kind of tender on the right side.
So
worth
Colton
keeping an eye on.
Bowser goes in for him. He is the motion man. And Thomas wants to throw. He has Mulvihill. Mulvihill's got the first.
What a throw, too, between multiple defenders. A sea of red. The freshman with a heck of a throw. Under pressure, stays composed, calm, collected. That's a fresh set of downs.
For Bryce, it's only his 3rd reception this year, and it was a very nice one at a big spot.
It's an important one.
Yeah, just as good as that throw, which it was an amazing throw to thread the needle. It's also tough to catch when you're surrounded by so many bodies, and Mulvihill did a great job to bring it in. It's 1st and goal. Moody. Still Moody. He's on his feet. Now goes down at the 2.
I really, really like what he did there. A crafty little technical tidbit Grayson Moody utilized there. We talked about how often this defense goes for those tackles up high. Grayson Moody spun himself around, lowered himself down into a crouch almost, and just started backpedaling with his offensive line.
That's far from the first time we've seen him do that this season. I remember not knowing how to call that. He's running backwards but forwards. Here's 2nd and 2, and whistles will blow before the play goes.
Oh, and Grayson Moody might have scored on that one. Unfortunately, looks like it's going to back up.
It is a false start, so that will make it 2nd and goal, but from the 7 rather than from the 2.
Still plenty doable.
Yeah, but
2nd
and 2 was great Grayson Moody territory.
Well, and this could still be Grayson Moody territory, but from a coaching standpoint, you don't want to risk a 1 or 2 yard carry here. You want to try to get a bigger chunk.
If this is Moody territory, it's Moody territory out to the left or the right side.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at the right side of the field, which is where Van Dong's going. It's actually going to be a throw that way. Thomas looks like he might decide to run this one, and he's going to be wrapped up for no gain.
That ball came out.
Did he fumble? Oh, no! Did the Lions pick that one up? It looks like they did. You cannot be serious.
I almost mentioned it. Cy Thomas was avoiding defenders, and he made a juke with his right arm up in the air with the ball. And I was thinking that's dangerous. You can't afford to have your arm up there. Somebody so much as touches it, that ball's going to come out.
You have to be joking. They turn it over for
Again.
the Cardinals. The red zone has been the dread zone. They've made some very crucial mistakes. Turning it over at the 5 yard line.
You can't do it.
Could have
simply can't do it.
Taken a field goal, though we know they probably wouldn't have, but just it was great territory, prime territory to score, and now they're just hoping to make a defensive stand. Trying to run it straight up the gut here with Pollard. It goes pretty well. Gets maybe 8. So, we talked about how the halftime talk would probably be with an emphasis on protecting the ball. Don't know that message got through to Cy Thomas because he was still. I noticed the same thing where he wasn't protecting it whatsoever. And when you put the ball away from your body, you just run the risk of even the slightest tap forcing it loose from your hands. Again, Pollard going forward, now doing the same thing we were just talking about Moody, where turning around and pumping the legs to get a gain, and now a very late flag. So this is going to be a dead ball penalty, likely to be unsportsmanlike conduct of some sort. On the Cards.
Pollard picks up 3 yards for the first down. We'll tack on 15. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Cardinals.
Trying to get a peek, see what that call might have been on, see if it was a comment made after or something else. Regardless, the ref saw it, heard it.
Something from Van Dong, some late pushing and probably some magic words. But he was then taken out by Coach Steffen. So you talked about how involved he's been, and he has been having a great involvement, but
can't hurt the team.
Also been some negatives to seeing number 4 back out there for the Cards. It's nearly snapped into their own player as they almost got too fancy with that one. Now his progress will be stopped by Mulvihill. They just keep calling the QB draw to Pollard right now.
Bryce Mulvihill was doing everything he could to get that ball out too. Punching.
2 yards on the game, 2nd and 8.
Just massive. I mean, that we've seen turnovers yet today. That one fully sucked the energy out of this crowd. That felt different.
Well, it seemed like everything was going right. It's the same thing, that the Cardinals look extremely capable in this game. This does not feel like the score is fair at all, but they can't actually score. A couple different handoffs in the backfield. Sees Butler rolling out left on 2nd and 8.
Knocked out of bounds by number 2, Mulvihill.
You can see Van Dong talking to Coach Steffen, trying to get in and get back into the game in his body language. Seems like Steffen.
Coach said no.
Yep. Said no, sir. So 3rd down now. 3rd and about 6 or 7. 5.5 to go here. Time running out for the Cards. They need to make a play. Wanting to throw here. Oakley will throw towards Allen, and Allen couldn't bring it in. Again, he was on the inside of Hubler.
That may have been in bounds if he caught it, too. That was a big drop going the way of the Cards.
So that will make it 4th down now.
Punt team is out there.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have seen special teams formation doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Oh, I believe that the punt, you win a 3 possession lead. How could you not? But this is just, it's almost upsetting seeing the Cardinals defense make these stops, because if they're
playing so well.
Right, if they were adding offensive points to it, you would know that they could be at least right back in this game, maybe have taken the lead. Their defense is extremely capable. This one will come down for Jarrett, but it bounces and actually takes a Cardinals bounce before it's down at the 35.
And don't get me wrong, this game is certainly not lost yet. We still have a lot of time left, but the Cards are officially out of time for errors. We are out of time for it to be okay to not convert on 3rd downs or to have fumbles especially. They are quite literally out of time, and the margin for error has gotten razor thin for this team.
So they start at the 35. It would have to be a 65-yard drive from the Cards. They've been able to get most of the yards needed a couple different times, but not finish the drive or finish the job. Give here, Moody doesn't go very far.
Braden Van Dong was in for 1 snap. He'll come back out. Hubler will come in. Mulvihill out. Edder's in, it appears.
You know, the Cardinals have a plethora of two-way players, and they will be upset at themselves too for the great performance on D and the lacking on offense. But another chance then to try and score here. Thomas again wanting to throw, and again under a bunch of pressure and sacked. Brought down in the backfield by Aiden Ellington. At least he held on to the football. He wasn't doing much more to protect it on that one. It'll be 3rd and long. Cardinals' offensive line has really not put up much resistance to the pressure of the Lions' D.
They've been moving at will, essentially.
And Thomas has done really well in the backfield to shimmy and shake and try to find space to either throw or run, but there's only so much you can do when there's multiple bodies barreling towards you. Under 4 to go in this 3rd quarter, 3rd and 19.
And worth noting, the defense still keeping almost all of their defenders in the box. Pre-snap penalty.
It's a delay of game. Cardinals ran out of time, not moving quick enough.
So it'll be 3rd and 24?
Yeah. Just some short-sightedness there. Didn't have an eye up on the play clock.
Well, you got to imagine this call's a mouthful. But yeah, I was noticing the Lions' defense is showing very little, if any, respect to Cy Thomas and the Cardinals' passing attack there. They've got almost all of their defenders down in the box, close to the ball. Defensive backs playing press coverage on the receivers, which does give an opportunity to throw that ball deep, let that thing fly, but with the pressure in Cy Thomas' face the way it has been, just so tough to sit in the pocket long enough for those routes to develop.
Interesting. The delay of game is not actually a delay of game. They said the referees waive off the penalties, so there may have been some mistake for not putting the full 40 seconds on the clock. Whatever it is not 3rd and 24. It is 3rd and 19. Must have been some mistake with the play clock. Whatever it is, Cardinals with another chance here on 3rd down. 3rd down and 19, not 4th, as your screen says. Thomas throws. He has Moody. This is only his 2nd reception of the year. And he goes to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 14. So that will make
4th down and manageable.
Yeah. Moody's only other reception was a 1-yard catch last week when Thomas found himself in all kinds of trouble and just ended up kind of dumping it off to the nearest person. And it was a great job by Cy to not lose yards on that play.
Right.
This time, this was a much more intentional target, getting space for him. Your screen is wrong again. It is 4th and 5 here for Thomas, and he has number 5. Preston White catches it. First down, Cards. They're in Lions territory. What a catch, Preston White.
Sideline now excited too. The energy is up for the Cards here. Sideline is excited. The fans are excited. The student section is up on their feet as well.
Feels like the Cardinals just bailed themselves out of jail on that one.
Yep, absolutely.
They were bordering on getting to the point where even though the game would not be over, it would feel like it was almost out of reach despite how capable they are. But Preston White being a part of the capable Cardinals, showing what they can do, getting them a crucial 4th down conversion. Thomas, screen to White. Gets a block from Hubler. Goes down at the 30, so he gets 3.
I mean, it worked, but having Des Hubler block is a call that makes me smile. He's done everything. I mean, he does everything well. Can't knock his size, knock his seniority. He does everything very well at this point, but I like seeing the big receiver sets out of the Cardinals as well.
I think it was more of Coach giving a chance to Preston White.
Right.
I know that he really loves Preston's involvement in the offense and in the receiving game, and so he was feeding him after making that great play. 2nd and 7 from the 30-yard line. It will be a give this time. Moody met right there at the line, only gets 1, so it'll be 3rd and 6.
Seems like this team's been the best today on 3rd and 4th downs. Why not?
1-yard pickup, 3rd down and 6.
But yes, as I was stating before, I really, really like seeing all the receivers out there on the field. Not all of, but 3-4 of them. I love that Coach Steffen is openly saying, we know we're in a hole. We know you don't believe that we're running the ball, so we're just going to come out with our best guys out there, give us the best chance to succeed, even if you know what's coming.
3rd and 6 from the 29, under a minute in the 3rd. Thomas wants to throw, looks to Jarrett, throws to Jarrett, caught! Christian Jarrett's going to score! Touchdown, Cardinals!
Did I call involvement from CJ or did I call involvement from CJ? That was huge. That was monumental.
Christian Jarrett, and what a throw from Thomas. Another great job of threading the needle in multiple coverage. I think it may have been triple, even quadruple coverage. Yep. And Jarrett caught it and then finished off the play as well, getting to the end zone. It's 25-12. And the Cardinals absolutely showing they have life.
Well, and not even necessarily triple coverage, worth noting for anybody watching at home. Not necessarily triple coverage as in 3 defenders allocated to CJ, just 3 of them in the general area, a lot of bodies in the way. Lining up for the 2-point attempt here, flex bone formation again, CJ out wide.
You could still even hit someone's shoulder, whether or not they mean to be in the way. Thomas rolling left, he's going to try and run, still not protecting the ball, and then throws, and it's deflected. He threw towards Moody. Great deflection by Butler.
Still only a 2-possession game, though.
So they trail now by 13. But the Cardinals do score. So 25-12. Cardinals showing they are not done yet in this game. We will go ahead and take one quick break. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Just like the Cardinals are striving for success, Kaw Valley State Bank's mission is your success. At Kaw Valley State Bank, they provide the best, most efficient, courteous, and professional banking services possible. And at Kaw Valley, they recognize that the customer and their satisfaction is the most important ingredient to growing their community. With all the services you've come to expect from the hometown partner you deserve, Kaw Valley State Bank, online at kvsb.com, a proud supporter of Eudora Schools.
Eudora Sports Live is presented by Kansas Insurance. They believe in taking time to issue personal care and attention to each individual client. To show how Kansas Insurance can help you protect what matters most, call 913-369-6600. Moody going to take this kick. He does a short run up for this one, but it still goes back to the 15 where it's caught by Butler. Butler with a head of steam, still going, and he's wrapped up and brought down at the 33. By Janovic. Sylvie Janovic in on the tackle. They also credit Brody Wanger. So 25-12, Hayden. Cardinals scored in the last 2 quarters now.
I feel good.
Feels like they're getting back into it. The failed 2 points are a little bit of a downer, but I think you can just focus on the what this offense and what this defense can do, meaning that the Cardinals absolutely still have a chance here.
Defense specifically, they've been playing lights out. The offense starting to click now just makes life so much easier for the boys on defense to go out there and play. They got to feel like it's worth a little bit more now that the offense is paying it off.
Imagine if the defense were to add a turnover to their great day.
Good time to speak it in.
This will be fumbled and fouled. It is Gage Grable. There you go.
Celebrations everywhere up here.
Imagine if they added a turnover to their great day. It's Gage Grable.
Reed McAvoy out here saving seasons on Eudora Sports Live.
Is that 3 games in a row with the Cage Crable recovery? Am I crazy? I think so.
I think it is.
He definitely had a blocked punt and a recovery in the game against Paola. It's a Cardinals football.
I'm not going to lie. I said that really hoping that the announcer jinx would come in clutch at a good time for us.
You said speaking it into existence. How about that?
I believe we call that manifestation.
That was also just a calamity in the backfield for the Lions. No idea what they were doing back there.
Speaking of the backfield.
Avoiding one and then finds Jarrett. Jarrett with the spin. Another one goes down after getting 4 or 5. Great job by Thomas in the backfield. He really only had one person pressuring him, but did a great job to avoid the pressure.
I was going to say that was 2 plays in a row. You said calamity in the backfield. Speaking of, Cy Thomas got Lions hanging all over him in the backfield, managed to shake them all off.
Man, Cage Crable. What a guy.
What a guy. I'm going to have to go find him after the game. What a guy. That was massive.
He dropped the cage on that ball. Second he saw it. Had to reel that one in.
That was massive.
So it's still the 3rd quarter here, and the Cardinals have the ball back after scoring just a minute ago. Thomas, again, looking to throw. Eyes downfield. Steps up. Jarrett, open, touchdown! Oh! Are you kidding? Christian Jarrett with his 2nd touchdown in about 30 seconds of game time.
Christian Jarrett, have yourself a night.
You called it, Hayden. You said that it would have to be CJ to get involved. What a throw from Thomas. What a catch by the senior. The Cards are within 7.
And 2 plays, within 2 plays of the turnover, they pay it off with a deep touchdown to the man who we said would need to get involved in this second half. Unbelievable work.
Unreal. And now the Cards will set up for the kick here. They want to get within 6.
Do you remember how down the energy was 10 minutes ago? Look at this field now. Look at these stands now. We're not done with the 3rd quarter, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's a 1-possession game. Steinlage, it's a good snap, good hold, good kick. So the Cards are within 6. Yes, 6 points. It is 25-19 here. Just under 25 seconds left in the 3rd. We will take another break here, but definitely don't go anywhere. I don't know why you would.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
Well then, things are getting crazy here in Lansing, Kansas, as the Cardinals, who trailed by 19 when the quarter began, now within 6.
That doesn't sound right.
Doesn't sound right at all, but it sounds great.
If you're watching at home, you know anybody else who might be interested, you know a fan who's sitting on their couch tonight, tell them to tune in. Even if it didn't look close earlier, we got ourselves a ball game now.
Moody onside! Oh my! That nearly worked out. Very fortunate for the Lions. It ended up going straight into the hands of Noah Mathis. By the way, that is an insanely difficult thing to do, what Moody just did to kick it that low with that much power, completely catching the front line off guard.
He's the heart of the team as a running back. He's a very skilled kicker.
I think Coach Steffen was trying to ride the momentum, and I can't blame him. It darn near worked there, but Mathis able to reel that one in, came right to his hands, saving his team's butt right there.
And why not trust your defense, right? They've been so good. You can ride the wave of momentum, say, we'll try to get this onside. Even if we don't, I know my guys on defense can go out there and get us the ball back, especially riding the wave that these Cards are now riding.
So how different does it feel now for this Lions offense? As before they were operating with what felt like a comfortable lead. They still have the lead, but it feels like their time on top in this game is under siege here. It almost doesn't feel like they have a lead, even though they do.
It feels like they very much so need to flip the momentum now. They need a big play of their own, whether that's a deep run or a deep completion or their quarterback being able to scramble out around the edges. You need some kind of pop, explosive play to get your crowd rolling and to quiet the Cardinals just a little bit.
So the final play was a 3-yard carry. The Cardinals will go to this third quarter break almost feeling like they have the lead. They just got to make it come true on the scoreboard. It's 25-19. What a ridiculous flurry of an end there. The Cardinals getting 13 points in the last minute of that third quarter.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
The MVPs of BBQ. That's Barbed Wire Barbecue in Eudora. Family owned and operated, Barbed Wire Barbecue delivers great food and small town hospitality at a valued price. High quality hickory smoked meats, house seasonings, and time tested recipes put Barbed Wire Barbecue a cut above the rest. Kick off your weekend with their delicious brunch on Saturday.
Back here for the third quarter, and going to be a false start to get us going. So 2nd and 7 will become 2nd and 12. There's been a lot of pre-snap problems generally on defense for the Lions, but 5-yard penalty on their offense here. I think they're getting a little worried, a little jittery here.
I just want to bring up, you will hear people say momentum isn't real in football. Tell me this momentum is not real here.
Oakley throws and dropped, booted away by the receiver there, Kell, who has a touchdown in this game, also has a fumble recovery. He, as well as 3 other Lions defenders who have fumble recoveries in this game. But on that one, dropped it. So now 3rd and 12.
And a Cardinals stop here. I mean, this could take the top off this game if they can force a 3 and out here.
50 seconds ago, game time wise, it was 25-6. And it's now 3rd and 12. It's 3rd and 12. 25-19 here.
It's a heck of a game.
Oakley wants to throw. Does throw long. Falls incomplete. Looking around for flags, but it won't come.
Wow. I was expecting one as well.
There's a little bit of handsy coverage from Jarrett, but it is all good. So it is 4th and 12, and the Lions will have to punt.
Hey, the refs are letting them play. I like that a lot.
The Cardinals will have the ball. Well, let's have the punt return end. Just off of earlier circumstances.
It is looking like
the Cardinals could have the ball within 1 possession, which hasn't been the case since early in the first quarter.
We'll do all we can to make our announcer jinxes go one way and one way only.
Right. Bit of a high snap. Oakley brings it down, gets it away. It's a nice punt coming down, and it was going to take a good bounce for the Lions. Keeps rolling. Cardinals are going to start here in the dread zone. It'll be at the 13-yard line. A nice punt from Oakley, putting the Cardinals in a tough spot here, but they will also be feeling pretty good with the way that their offense has been playing, their defense has been playing, the way this game has been going just in these last literally just a minute and a half. Things have been going very well, so they will not be too worried about starting in a bad spot, but they do need to be careful. Protect the ball. Do not force anything that is unnecessary, because this would be a horrible spot to turn it over. It seems like the Lions are really worried and taken aback right now, so they do not need any welcome back into this game of any kind. Even if the Cardinals have to punt here, that would not be the worst-case scenario. Thomas rolling left. He has Jarrett over there. For Jarrett, goes down to try and catch that one. Thomas just put it in a spot where it was CJ or no one. So that's not a bad incompletion.
It's what a coach will tell you to do. If it's a tight window throw, just don't give the DB a chance to get a hand on it, break it up.
Backed up like this, just do not play with fire.
And especially with momentum trying to mount a comeback. You do not want to give the defense any kind of wave to ride of their own.
Right.
Because as we saw, momentum can swing in a heartbeat. It's so quick.
2nd and 10. The give. No, does Thomas keep? He does. He's rolling left. Thomas with some space. Thomas goes down. He's got a first for the Cards. Oh, there's a flag in the backfield. Coach Steffen does not like it. Holding on the offense, so the great run by Thomas is negated.
And they will be backed way off now.
Well, so it's the original line of scrimmage was the 13, so it should just be half the distance.
Which would put it around the 6. It will.
So
not a drive killer.
Yeah,
Worth
2nd
noting.
and 17. I really think that the Cardinals can kind of settle in on punting. I think it was just such a great punt from Oakley that it's not the end of the world. Obviously not ideal. You don't want to punt, but as long as they don't turn it over.
It doesn't end the game.
Yeah, no, they can still continue their momentum.
Especially with the defense playing as well as they are.
Just don't do anything ill-advised here. 2nd and 17. Thomas running forward. Goes down for no gain, no loss. Thomas slow to get up. Oh, no. Thomas definitely not feeling great after that one.
Might have gotten his ankle rolled on.
We might see Houston Carnegie be called upon here. He's going to try to stick it out. .10:30 to go in the game. 3rd and 17. Thomas gives. Moody still going, and then, takes a hit to the head. Hopefully he's all right after that one. Gets a few yards back. That'll just provide some extra space for Steinlage to punt.
Setting it up a little bit better, which, like you said, with the defense playing as well as they are, knowing that you can get 3 and outs, knowing you can get stops on defense, this is not the end of the world. This is
really
not terrible.
comes down to how good this punt is from Steinlage.
Right.
If this is a poor punt, then you'd come away thinking that you really would like to do better. But if he can get off a good one that takes a nice bounce, the Cardinals could come away feeling really good, trusting their defense, continuing things on. Though the Lions can also take some momentum from this. Oh, no! High snap, it's a safety. So it's an 8-point lead now. It's still 1 possession, but the Lions will also get the ball. What a horrible mistake. Was it Van Dong, the long snapper? I thought it was Hagan. Was it Van Dong? It seems like it was.
Hagan's not playing. It would have been Van Dong.
Oh, right. Forgot about that. Hagan's been doing those long snaps the last couple weeks, so that's why Van Dong might be a little bit out of practice on those, and he could see he is just distraught. Steinlage trying to console his teammate. It's still a 1-possession game, but the Lions will now get the ball, and we were just talking about that. They seemed like they were sort of dead. They didn't have any belief or momentum, and now not just giving them good field position, giving them free points is a crucial error there by the Cardinals. There is something big to be said for the fact that it's still 1 possession, that they took the PAT on their last touchdown rather than going for 2 and potentially failing to get it.
Right.
But the fact that the Lions will now get the ball back.
Oh, it'll be a kickoff.
No, it should be a punt, I figured.
Right.
That's the way that it normally goes. And I don't know why it's coming from the 20. Yes, I'm not really familiar on the safety kick rules being different from the kickoff. It's a good kick from Moody. Falls at the 40, where it is then picked up. Does not go very far before wrapped up by Colton Bowser.
How good has Colton Bowser been at wrapping up tackles this season, particularly on this back half? He's been so good.
You got some help from Lyric Langley as well, but yeah, that was a very nice wrap-up form tackle. So, that's a weird wrench that's just been thrown into this game. It feels like some of that momentum is now a little bit gone, but it almost feels like it shouldn't be, but it is. Because that's not a huge difference. It is a big difference. Like it changes things now.
I think it's bigger for momentum than it is for the points on the board.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. Now taking this one, Pollard trying to get forward, but Cage Crable will wrap him up. So it looks like it was Mulvihill in on that one. No, it was Riley. Nice. And Mulvihill and Cage Crable all in on the tackle.
And this is massive, Reed, from the standpoint for the defense. The defense has to do all they can in this situation because a lot of them were on the field for that bad punt. They have to try as hard as they can to not let the momentum get into their head and let the Lions go on a little bit of a run here.
Right.
Keep the energy you've had. Keep that same level of ferocity and fire. See if you can go get another 3 and out. They're still playing very well.
Oakley wants to throw. Van Dong in the backfield. Thrown and caught. Brought in Cardinals territory. First down Lions. It's, again, Tanner Kell.
And we'd seen a few of those earlier in the day. They're mounting a little bit of momentum. One big play. They've tried to hit those crossing routes all day long, both sides of the field. Had a couple inbounds, a couple out. But this is going to be an important drive for the Lions to see if they can kind of slow the slide, kind of stop the bleeding that they've seen in that third quarter.
The Cardinals just have to keep them out of the end zone. I don't even think letting up a field goal here would be catastrophic with how much time is left, but can't let up a touchdown at this point. Big hit on Pollard, absolutely blown up.
Was it Sylvie? Might have been.
Looks like
it was
Van
Braden.
Dong.
BVD once again.
I think that you can see there's a new energy for him. I think that he feels like he has to atone for that bad snap.
Who wouldn't, right?
But it's good to see that he's channeling that into playing good football. Sometimes a player will make a mistake, get in their own head, and just it can snowball and get worse.
Absolutely.
But I'm seeing some extra determination for Braden Van Dong. Oakley testing Hubler again towards Allen, and Hubler, beautiful. The Hubler Dam.
Bend, don't break. No flags on that one. He did as good of a job as you can ask a defensive back to do in terms of keeping close to the receiver, keeping your hand up to get the ball down, but not tugging on a jersey, not yanking on a shoulder pad, anything that the ref might see and call.
Yeah, he's so great at just playing the ball in the air.
Right. It's so easy to reach down and drag on the receiver or do something, anything that interferes with them. And if you're a referee, all you see is that little tug, and that's all it takes to get a penalty. Especially at a freshman level, he's been so incredibly disciplined.
So 3rd and 10, a stopped clock is also big here. Just inside Cardinals territory. In motion is Butler. Oakley wants to throw, rolls right, cuts back left. Getting under pressure now, gets this one off, and it's incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
It was Mulvihill in coverage.
Now this is a weird spot, Hayden, just at the edge of Cardinals territory, with the lead also factored in.
I think you still punt.
You think you still punt?
I think you still punt purely because of how the previous Cardinals drive ended. I think if you're on the Lions sideline, you have faith that the momentum isn't quite as bad as it was before. Your defense can go out and get another stop. Not saying I necessarily agree with the sentiment. I think the Cards can pick things up.
It's also a great spot to pin the Cards deep again.
It is.
Which last time when it happened is you're like, well, maybe next time. But this time it'll probably happen again. And there's becoming fewer and fewer next times. Another high snap, but Oakley gets to this one. And then it's a high punt. This will not be as good of a punt as it should have been. But then takes a Lions bounce. And, wow, that's a very fortunate roll.
Bounce.
Because that one had landed around the 30. But now they will still be inside the 20. Cy Thomas limps his way back out there. He's absolutely not at 100%.
He's in a little bit of pain for sure.
If that limits his ability to run the ball himself,
that's huge.
That is a big part of the offense taken away,
yep.
Or at least limited, hampered.
In comes Braden Van Dong as well. Heavy receiver set again. Looks like Jarrett White and Van Dong all out in the formation.
Wanger out there on the line as standing up as a tight end. This is technically a throw towards Jarrett. Jarrett with some speed. outstretches the ball before he goes out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it. It'll be a first.
And I think it's easy to watch a play like that and just think, oh, he ran down the sideline. Like, good, dandy, whatever. You don't realize how little space there is on that sideline, how tough it is while running at nearly a full sprint to keep that tiptoe, keep yourself in bounds, and not get hit, not lose the ball. Christian Jarrett, as he's been all year long, just so incredibly talented with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, we've seen those little short passes in the backfield. Sometimes for him, they've gone for even as many as 30 yards because it gives him the ability to work up speed with the ball. And they'll do it now to Van Dong, who tries to cut it up the middle, going up the gut right into the belly of the Lions defense, so he couldn't really find much space in there.
Into the stomach of the line.
Brought down by his opposing number 4, Aiden Lassard.
And still a good spot. That Jarrett run puts you in a spot where you're looking at second down and manageable here. It's a long distance, but you've got 2 more downs to pick up a first. You've gotten yourself out of the red zone. Now a little bit of room to take a deep breath if you're the Cards.
Out of the dread zone.
Out of the dread zone.
The give, Moody does not get much further, so it's going to be 3rd and 8 or 9. Tough spot for the Cards in their own territory.
This is a tough spot. Now a limp from Braden Van Dong as well. Maybe not. Yes.
Third and 9. Thomas will roll to his left, limp to his left. It's not still not really protecting that ball. Eyes downfield the whole time, deflected and incomplete. Cardinals fortunate that it's incomplete, but on the other side of things, there was a receiver. Was it Christian Jarrett? No, it was Brody Wenger, who was completely behind the Lions defense. It would have taken a Herculean throw from
to get there.
Thomas to get there, but Wenger had gotten in behind the defense. So now 4th and 9 in an awkward spot in the field. It looks like they're going to go for it. I can't say I'm a huge fan of it.
White and Wenger come out.
Just with all the time left and 3 timeouts, I would prefer a punt here, but Stefan believing in his offense on 4th and 9. Thomas will look to throw. Eyes downfield towards Mulvihill, and it's incomplete.
Oh, my goodness. I'm shocked that didn't get flagged.
Well, now the Cardinals defense will have some work to do after the turnover on downs.
Oh, it was
the
in
Lions will take over
hands.
At the 31, which is very near to already field goal position, which as time goes on, if they could even just add a field goal, that would make it 2 possessions. Cards do have all 3 timeouts, so do the Lions. But that is a crucial turnover. Like I said, I kind of don't like the call to go for it there. I know that it feels like it would hurt to punt, but
a lot of time left.
Yeah, especially with all 3 timeouts. But getting aggressive here in the playoffs. Now they'll just have to make another defensive stand. The defense has been great.
Which, by the way, that's not new. Coach Stefan has trusted his team all year long. Not like we're flipping principles late here, at least.
Give to the back, and Leland Bradshaw brings him down. Aiden Ellington with that rush. I haven't said Leland Bradshaw's name a whole lot here on his return, but he has been involved both on the offensive and defensive line. Clock continues to run here, 2nd and 9. Bit of an odd formation here from the Lions. They've got Kell off in sort of a deep slot position. It'll be given to the running back. Doesn't get very far. It was given again to Ellington, Van Dong and Janovec, and also the entire defensive line in on the stop.
I'm almost surprised that wasn't a pre-snap penalty on the Lions. I know that in terms of formation, you are not allowed to have any more than 7 players on the line of scrimmage. That'd be your 5 offensive linemen and usually 2 receiving threats. I don't know if it's any less than that allowed. I thought it was no more, no less. Of course, I could have the rule wrong very easily, but I saw 6 players on the line of scrimmage, almost expected to see an illegal formation. want to talk about weird before. 3 receivers lined up stacked now.
3rd and 8. Rolling that way. Oakley, Janovic, and Van Dong applying pressure. It's going to go incomplete. And, oh no, a flag on the backside. Was there roughing the passer? The flag was around midfield. And Van Dong's rolling around on the ground, seemingly hurt. Personal foul, roughing the passer. So on that incompletion, the Cardinals committing a horrible penalty. And also maybe losing Van Dong. Seems to be in a lot of pain. We think we're going to go ahead and take a break here as they attend to Van Dong. When we're back, it'll be a first down, I believe, for the Lions.
High-quality foods, friendly service, great prices, and a connection to the community that is unsurpassed. That's Gene's Heartland Foods in Eudora. Family-owned, Gene's Heartland Foods offers a convenient one-stop shop, delivering the everyday essentials you need to specialty items from around the world. Gene's friendly staff is here to help you find exactly what you're looking for. You have options when it comes to feeding your family. Choose to support local. Choose Gene's Heartland Foods, 1402 Church Street in Eudora, or online at heartlandfoodstores.com. Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
Van Dong was able to come off the field. I think he is it seems like it's a pretty bad injury for Van Dong. He's still down on the ground, just off the field now. Looking back at it, it was pretty bad. Roughing the passer is a pretty clear penalty. They hit him both high and low at the same time after he had released the ball. So it is 1st and 10 now after what would have been a 4th down from the incompletion. The give to Pollard, and now late play, Showers shoved Leland Bradshaw to the ground, and I thought that Showers also had a late retaliation on Van Dong that I think might be what has led to his injury.
Yeah.
And both of those he's gotten away with. I don't mean to sow disorder of any kind, but
just tying things together.
Just seems weird seeing what that was certainly unnecessary. That he did not need to hit Bradshaw after the play. He saw that the play was done.
That could be 2 straight plays now. Of course, not calling for anything.
Time running out here. 2nd and 7. High snap caught by Oakley, given to Pollard. Brought down by Bradshaw. At this point, it's a really tough spot. Cardinals it's field goal range, prime field goal range, and if they were to make it, just would leave a lot of work for the Cards. They'd kind of be relying on a field goal miss, but in order to make that happen, they have to actually force a 4th down that is such a 4th down that they don't consider it worth it to go for it. Oakley fields the high snap. I thought he may have fumbled.
It will make it a 4th and long, however.
Instead, he managed to somehow get that ball to Pollard.
That was huge. That was massive.
Massive that he got it to Pollard.
Right. The fact that ball didn't go loose.
Yeah. So they will set up to go for it. From the 11, that makes it a 28-yard kick. Last kick for Bonowitz would have been good from a lot longer than 32, which matched his long on the season. But we've also seen them audible in and out from kicking formations all day long. Right now they don't look exactly set on the kick, and now they'll take a timeout. We'll go ahead and keep you here as we discuss what they might do here on this 4th down. Do you believe then that they're going to take this kick here, Hayden?
I believe so, because there's if you look at it from a winning the game perspective, not necessarily trying to get points, if you're just trying to win the game, it doesn't necessarily do you that much more good to score a touchdown than it does to kick the field goal. Either way, you're making it a 2-possession game, putting the Cardinals in true desperation mode. And, of course, the odds of making the field goal versus the odds of making your 4th and 4, it's just a numbers game. If I were the coach on the Lions side, I would definitely be taking my short field goal because, of course, it's not 100%, but I like the odds of making the kick better than I like the odds of making my 4th down and not really having a pretty equal return either way.
Bonowitz is not a phenomenal kicker, just to be real with you, but
he's looked good today.
The Cardinals' defense has been really good. And so, yeah, I think you're right that this was probably the odds play, but he has missed both a PAT and a field goal this season, and he's had a lot of, even his makes have been sometimes questionable.
Maybe unconvincing.
Yeah, his make earlier this game was one of the best kicks I bet he's had all year. Split the uprights very nicely. This is a big, big kick for Bonowitz. It's down, and it's up. It's a little low, but it is good. So 30-19 is now the score. It's a 2-possession lead. Definitely not over, but that if we're looking at a win probability chart, it just took a big dive for the Cards. Yep. They do still hold all 3 timeouts, and we saw just at the end of the third quarter, they scored 2 touchdowns in 30 seconds of game time. They are capable of doing something like that, but that was just it sort of just happened that they scored that way. It wasn't necessary. It wasn't what had to happen. It just was what did happen. That's not the case anymore. Now the Cardinals have to score twice.
This is big. This next drive is season-defining, trying to keep your season alive. Really well played by the Lions, truly. They've done a really good job of forcing the Cardinals into a corner, putting them in a true desperate position now. That's the way you prevent a slide. They put themselves in a bad spot, had a bad quarter. They've done a really good job of regrouping just well enough to tip the scale heavily in their favor with just under 3 minutes to go.
Back deep is Hubler. Bonowitz to kick this one away after extending his team's lead to 11. Kicks it to the far side. Might go out of bounds, which would be beneficial for the Cards, but no, Hubler instead fields it at inside the 5, going back and forth, running the risk of a potential block at the back, still moving around, going out around the 15 or 16. Could have pulled that, the play where you stick a foot out and then reach and touch the ball.
It might not have been.
We've nerded out on the rules a couple times already, but illegal kicking out of bounds puts the receiving team in a very good spot because it's a 15-yard penalty from where the kick was taken.
Little context, there's an infamous NFL clip where a kick ends up maybe 2 feet out of the boundary. The player steps out of bounds and then touches the ball, which does count as a penalty for the kicking team, but we'll leave you guys out of a rules nerd out for a little while.
4 wide, the receiving package. Moody into block. Thomas tries to break through the defensive wall, but oh no, did he lose the ball? He did! Cy Thomas fumbled. It's a 5th lost fumble for the Cardinals today. And that one will unbelievably probably end the season. Puts the Lions inside the 10. And that might be how it comes to an end this year.
The coffin may have just been nailed shut, unfortunately.
5 lost fumbles on the day is just unimaginable. Turns it into a first and goal.
It's really, really hard to win games when you turn the ball over that much, plain and simple.
The give to Pollard. He will be stopped short. Thomas he's had a really great game. He's had a lot of great plays. We've criticized him not protecting the ball, which is, I'll still stand by that criticism.
Right.
But
he's a gunslinging quarterback. Yeah, we're picking up on that.
He's also he picked up an injury in this game and has still been gritting it out, fighting through, was trying to just get past the line to hopefully make a throw downfield, trying to make something happen, and ended up fumbling the ball. Not for the first time for Cy Thomas today. Puts the Lions in the red zone here where they love to be. They love to operate here, but the Cardinals making some stands.
Playing pretty good defense.
Cardinals still with all 3 timeouts as well, but Stefan opting not to use them at the moment.
I think it being a 2-possession game, he knows they'll need to make this stop, score, and have another drive. I suspect he's saving those timeouts for the next defensive sequence where they'll need to make a stop, which, of course, far from ideal, but with this little time left in the game, kind of running thin on options, unfortunately. I'd suspect another run here from the Lions.
Pollard is the quarterback rather than Oakley. He's been taking these QB draws. Bowser blows him up at the line, but he does score. So that will do it here. This game is going to be won by the Lions. Heartbreaker for the Cardinals. You just can't turn over the ball 5 times and hope to win a game. We talked about sometimes you'll get fewer than 10 possessions in a game. You turn over 5 to the other team.
I mean, if we're talking good possessions, too, it's even lower of possessions where you actually have time and good field position. And
just can't expect to win a game like that, and that is a heartbreaker for this team. But it's such a young team. Most of these players will be back as the kick from Bonowitz is up and good. His first PAT today goes through, making it 37-19. But yes, it feels like it's time to eulogize this Cardinals season, even though it has 1 minute and 8 seconds left in it. Just, yeah, you can't win a game with 5 lost fumbles. I mean,
no,
they nearly, or when it was 4, they were nearly able to get it done, but it was still going to be.
That would be in spite of the turnovers.
And it was still going to be really difficult because they were already down 2 possessions with less than 3 minutes left. That was already a tough spot, and then to fumble it and lose it again. And Thomas fumbled it because he was trying to play to the situation, trying to make a play. You can't blame him. You can blame him for the earlier one. You could blame the other earlier ones, saying that those ones maybe should not have happened the way they did. But yeah, just tough. There was some chance there for Errol Seaman, who is dressed here tonight, fully dressed.
Yep.
He's wanting to get back out there just to show prove what he's done for his rehab journey. This is his last game of football. He won't get to play a part of it, but more than just being on the sideline. This one goes to Eder. Decent return for Gavin Eder to the 35.
All kinds of flags coming in now.
Was there a flag?
There was a flag.
Oh, yes, there is. Yeah, there's been a lot of chippiness just these last few plays, specifically from the Lions side. That's not trying to be.
Well, especially as the game's gotten closer.
Yeah. So some final snaps for the senior class here this year. Personal foul against the Lions, and actually Van Dong will check back out. So the ball will move 15 further yards downfield.
Wow, inside Lions territory now is the ball. Cards with a pretty good opportunity to get a solid drive out of this, even if the game may be out of reach.
Thomas, again, trying that same move to squeeze through the defensive line that was crashing him down, and it'll be another sack.
They've picked up on it now.
Leftwich getting in on that one. Thank you, seniors. Chant out the Cardinals fans.
Oh, my heart.
Wanting to throw again, Thomas. And again, brought down in the backfield. Leftwich actually came away with the ball, but they're not going to give him possession. He may have actually pickpocketed Cy Thomas, but referees won't give it to him. And now Van Dong will get back out there. Christian Jarrett as well on the field. This one's going to be thrown for Jarrett, and it will be intercepted, but a meaningless play at the end. It was the final play. Just wanted to give one more go ball to Christian Jarrett, who has a 2-touchdown game here today. It was a special day for the senior, but he probably won't remember it too fondly as it comes to a heartbreaking, bitter end. 37-19 is the final score. Heartbreak for the Cards. Their season will end 4-5 as they will be knocked out here in the playoffs by the 8 seed, the Lansing Lions, who will move on to the next round. I think we should maybe keep you here for the ending here, as I imagine.
I agree.
There will probably be some good moments between the fans and the players. So we could just get going on our post-game show right now rather than going to a break. Thank you all for watching all season long, and especially here tonight. It was a fun game for a long time, and we might not remember it like that way now, but it was a very fun game for the Cards, and it's a fun season. I mean, come on, even just the Paola win.
It's a phenomenal season.
Such a fun year, and such a young team. I mean, the future is so bright, but that won't be the focus right now. The focus should be here on the senior players who have just played their last game, so we can look through that list. We'll include Braden Van Dong, Connor Watson, who had a good game defensively. Unfortunately, Errol Seaman couldn't get back in this season after only getting to play in week 1. Christian Jarrett with a couple touchdowns, bringing him to 5 on the year. Hendrickson was also unable to play in this game, but he had a good year for the Cards. Sylvie Janovec had a special impact in this game and a great year, a year where he was also honored at a Chiefs game. Just a great year of football for Sylvester Janovec. Caden Hardy, an offensive lineman, and also Nate Steinlage, the kicker and punter, who had a good game here today as well.
Worth noting, that's the entire Cardinals roster. The entire bench and sideline is cleared. That is your team out on the field.
So that is the end of this Cardinals season. That one will hurt. That one will hurt for a while. But I think that there's a lot of positives and just great memories. That's what it's going to be for the seniors. Yep. I think there were a lot of good memories made this year. They would have liked to have a chance for more, but it was a good year. Hayden, what are your thoughts here as the season's come to a close?
Man, I mean, I could harp on how bright the future looks because I don't want that to be lost when we come back. Whenever you hear from us next, it was a phenomenal year, and the future looks so incredibly bright. So many young impact players. But the seniors on this roster and the impact they've made, it has been an absolute pleasure and joy for us to watch these seniors do their thing. Errol Seaman in week 1. Christian Jarrett has been phenomenal all year. Braden Van Dong tonight alone had a special impact. Nate Steinlage has been great on the football and soccer field all year long. I mean, Connor Watson was phenomenal at quarterback and then moved to the defensive side and was great there as well. This team and these seniors have been the heart and backbone. It may have looked at other points like other players may have been the quote-unquote heart of this team, but make no mistake, these seniors kept this team standing, and they have been phenomenal, and they rightfully will be getting their flowers tonight. This has been a joy of a season to cover. I'm so grateful that I've been able to stand alongside Reed for all of these games and get to cover it. Grateful to all of you for listening, and just what a tough end, what a heartbreaking end. But these players, I hope, hang their heads high on a season where they have given it every inch of heart, and they have deserved every win, and they've certainly felt every loss.
They ended up keeping up that streak. It went loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, all the way through to the end. They never could win 2 games in a row, unfortunately. But yeah, these last 2 games, it felt like this Cardinals team was really maturing. You really wish they had more games just so they could continue to build on these principles, because even this loss, I think they could have learned so much from. And that Paola game was phenomenal. The way that they ended up pulling away at the end, that felt like a different Cardinals team, the way that they won that game. But this is it. It's over. And it's crazy how fast a high school football season goes. Just 8 weeks, and then it becomes win or go home. And so for the Cardinals, it'll only be 9 games, and they will lose their final one to the Lansing Lions here, falling to a 4-5 year. You can see Connor Watson giving
each senior getting their moment.
Yeah, giving a talk to the whole team, speaking through saying thank you and just memories through this team. Looks like Errol now talking with the team, and Van Dong as well.
Man, what a moment, what a year.
I think we could just sort of let the moment speak for itself for the time being.
Yeah, I agree.
And as the Cardinals break that huddle there with one last chant of family, we will now take a break here. When we're back, it's the post-game show as we wrap up this Eudora Cardinals season. Thank you so much for being with us all year long.
Just like the Cardinals are striving for success, Kaw Valley State Bank's mission is your success. At Kaw Valley State Bank, they provide the best, most efficient, courteous, and professional banking services possible. And at Kaw Valley, they recognize that the customer and their satisfaction is the most important ingredient to growing their community. With all the services you've come to expect from the hometown partner you deserve, Kaw Valley State Bank, online at kvsb.com, a proud supporter of Eudora Schools.
High-quality foods, friendly service, great prices, and a connection to the community that is unsurpassed. That's Jean's Heartland Foods in Eudora. Family-owned, Jean's Heartland Foods offers a convenient one-stop shop, delivering the everyday essentials you need to specialty items from around the world. Jean's friendly staff is here to help you find exactly what you're looking for. You have options when it comes to feeding your family. Choose to support local. Choose Jean's Heartland Foods, 1402 Church Street in Eudora, or online at heartlandfoodstores.com. The MVPs of BBQ. That's Barbed Wire Barbecue in Eudora. Family-owned and operated, Barbed Wire Barbecue delivers great food and small-town hospitality at a valued price. High-quality hickory smoked meats, house seasonings, and time-tested recipes put Barbed Wire Barbecue a cut above the rest. Kick off your weekend with their delicious brunch on Saturdays and Sundays and enjoy game day your way with Barbed Wire Game Day Packs. Visit them at 601 East 10th in Eudora or see their full lineup of flavors at barbedwirebarbecue.com.
Eudora Parks and Recreation is committed to creating community through parks, people, and programs. Their goal is to provide recreational opportunities for the community of Eudora that will enhance and promote a healthy lifestyle for all ages. The Eudora Parks and Recreation Department gives Eudora residents and others from surrounding communities the opportunity for family-oriented activities. Visit their website at eudoraparksandrec.org to view their youth and adult programs, leagues, memberships, facilities, activity guides, and more, and follow them on all social media at Eudora Parks and Rec.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
All right, welcome back in here. Going to get going on our post-game show once I find my live read here. Sorry about that. Just focusing in on the Cardinals out there on the field. It is the Eudora Animal Hospital post-game show. They've been serving animals and pets in Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975, and just like all of us, are proud supporters of Eudora Cardinal athletics. So a just heartbreaking end, but
yeah,
it was a great year, all kinds of fun. I do hurt specifically for Errol to not get one game back out there because he did a lot of work rehabbing, but hurts for everyone to not get another game. But it's been a privilege this season. And so you want to give your thoughts first just on the game, and then we can transition to talking a little bit more about the season.
Well, on the game as a whole, first off, I think it demonstrated fight above all else. This team looked down and out would be a generous way, a kind way to put it. They looked completely inept at times, both on offense and on special teams. The defense was solid all day, but just what fight and determination to claw themselves out of that hole, put themselves back in a spot where the game was actually within reach. It looked attainable for them to win this football game, but momentum usually doesn't last quite the entire length of a half, and they weren't quite able to get enough points out of that run to come away with a win today. But a really positive showing and a lot of bright upside. Just so unfortunate that they ran out of time. They ran out of time to come back. They ran out of energy, ran out of juice. And it's unfortunate that we don't get to see more games. You said it. It would be such a treat to watch and see how much more this team can learn and develop because they've done so much of that this year. But all good things must come to an end, I suppose. And this feels like a worthy end to show the heart and fight that this team has shown all season long.
Yeah, and it was a special effort to keep the belief, because you say that they seemed down and out, but we were saying that it didn't feel that way. It felt like they should be winning and yet weren't, and sometimes that's the worst feeling to be. And that's what makes this one hurt so bad, is because it feels like the Cardinals should have won this game.
Yeah.
But they maintained that belief through to the end of saying that we should be in this game, and they're going to play like they belong in this game, and they did. And they stormed back, and it was so fun. The 2 touchdowns in quick succession to Jarrett. Van Dong had the other score. So 3 seniors. How about that? Just last week, 6 touchdowns, all from underclassmen, including 3 freshmen. And this week, all 3 touchdowns coming from players who have now, unfortunately, played their last football game for the Eudora Cardinals. But
it's almost fitting, isn't it?
The senior class, yeah. But yeah, just a tough loss here. They lose to Lansing. But I think that the players now are just focused on the memories. It's almost like a funeral for the season.
Yes.
And that is, I mean that in saying that a funeral is supposed to be a positive remembrance.
A celebration.
Yes, a good celebration of what the great times that were had, the great times that were shared.
Yep.
And there were a lot this season, not just in the games that were won, but of course winning always makes things feel a little bit better. But yeah, I got to talk with Coach Stephan about the future of the team, and he said he knows how bright their future is, and he says that it's not just something, though, that's granted. Like, you see Des Hubler, he's young and he's good, so surely he'll be even better. No, he says that it's going to be a matter of continued work, trusting the process, working hard, and playing the game well. And we've seen that from Moody, from Duncan, from Thomas, from Hubler, all over the place, not just the skill positions, but
everybody.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much more to say here. I guess we should. We are contractually obligated to pick a player of the game, which is I feel like there's actually a pretty clear one. I don't know.
I think. Well, I think you and I are thinking the same clear one, and we haven't mentioned this yet, so perhaps we see on the air if we're thinking of the same player.
Well, first let's do the read. So we will be picking our who's smoking, which none of us are smoking right now. We could all go for a little bit of some smoking barbecue from Barbed Wire Barbecue, the who's smoking player of the game. Enjoy the best barbecue in Douglas County at Barbed Wire Barbecue. For menu options, carry out, online orders, and more, visit their website, barbecue.com. And I was thinking Christian Jarrett.
So was I.
Was that who you were thinking?
So was I.
I think that he gave this team life, and I think that there were more moments than just his touchdowns. Another one that you could
runs
think
on
of,
the edges. And
yeah, you could think of Cy Thomas. If you wanted to give a play of the game, that goes to Cage Crable with his fumble recovery.
I was thinking Braden as well. You can mention Braden Van Dong as one of those. He had a lot of impact plays after his fumble.
Janovec had a great game defensively. There were a lot of big impact players, but I think that Jarrett, it wasn't just his 2 touchdowns, but that sort of drives the point home of how great he was today. And it was a special performance from the seniors and from the senior and from the senior class. But yeah,
I would agree. Christian Jarrett.
Yeah, so he will be our player of the game. I almost don't want to sign off just because it's been such a great season, but doesn't feel like there's a whole lot much more to say. They have this team will be back. They have a bright future, but this one hurts.
Hurts a lot.
But thank you everybody so much for watching. Oh yes, I do want to say thank you to everybody that helped to make this season possible. Everybody from Cooper Grand, who helped broadcast with us week 1, BJ Harris and Dylan Funk, who facilitate this entire thing for Varsity Sports Live, Coach Steffen giving us weekly interviews, Hayden Harves, of course, being with me here every week, Kara Kimberlin, who is always ever present, extremely helpful up in whenever we are home games and away, Aaron Feely from Paola Sports Live, who helped provide stats for his team when we played them, and Larry Gazaway from Lewisburg Sports Live. Thank you to everybody for watching, everybody that made this possible.
And I'm going to butt in. Thank you to Reed McAvoy for being the voice of Eudora Sports Live on the year, providing us with all the incredible moments and calls. We're not going to let you thank everyone else and you not get your flowers. So
thank you for that. Yeah, and thank you to our sponsors as well for facilitating this whole thing. Been a great year. It's a tough end, but it was so many fun times. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Good night, and go Cardinals.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.